Have another small event for you guys with only 8 teams participating this evening. Meaning the teams that do win their round 1 games will be guaranteed some form of RP prizing this evening, as round 2 is the semi-finals. Those of you not aware, we do have 40,000 RP and 5 Triumphant Rise skins to give away to the victors this evening. The winning team will be going home with a 16,000 RP package, as well as those 5 Triumphant skins. That is 1 Rise skin for each of their final 5 summoners, as well as 3,200 RP apiece. Second place team, of course, does not go home unhappy either, with 2,400 RP for each of their final 5 summoners. Third place team taking in 1,600 each and 800 each for the fourth place team. And with only 8 teams participating tonight, it is a fairly good chance that if you are playing, you will be making it at least into that semi-final round, where you're going to be guaranteed prizing whether you win or lose. Winners heading into the finals match determine the first and second place teams. Losers heading into the bronze match from the semi-finals to determine the third and fourth place teams. And I believe you guys may hear the sounds of my client in the background there. I have picked a round 1 game. We're going to be on the D matchup here this evening. In round 1, it will be UIC versus UMBC B team. A whole bunch of acronyms in round 1. I've also gotten reports from summoners from both of those teams that they actually know each other, so a little bit of a rivalry here on the stream this evening. Again, guys, heading into round 1, it's going to be UIC on the blue side and UMBC B team on the purple side. Again, guys, heading into round 1 of play here. This is a Not-So-Stock Gaming semi-pro tournament. Going to be Dark Orb showcasting here for you for round 1 of play, and I believe I will be getting joined by Bio for the semis and the finals this evening. Getting reports that Team Versatile is here, but did not check in this evening. So if one of the teams does not show up to play in round 1, we will be substituting them into that position. Looking to see if everybody can get their round 1 matchups started here. Again, guys, heading into round 1 of play here. This is a Not-So-Stock Gaming semi-pro tournament. Looking like we have 9 summoners currently in the lobby, and 3 more minutes until matches are able to start. Looking for just 1 more summoner into this game. Alright, looking for just 1 more summoner into this lobby. And Scovert seems to know who they're looking for. Do see a pending invite there for Heart and Soul. See a pending invite for Spoon as well. And those of you joining us here would have missed those comments earlier as I came into the lobby before we started this stream up. Excovert and Excited Suit both came in, members from different teams, and Excovert's like, "Hey Soup, guess who you're fighting against?" And I was like, "Spoon?" Because it seems like, Spoon would counter Soup. So they've actually invited a summoner named Spoon into this lobby. They're not a member of either team. We are waiting on Heart and Seol to come in onto the purple side here. Again, of course, after those comments, I found out that these 2 teams actually do know each other. Interesting to see that they are friends competing against each other in round 1 of play here this evening. Again, guys, going to be UIC on the blue side and UMBC B team on the purple side. Oh, my stream just started making noise at me. Was I muted previously there? I'm not quite sure what just happened. Looking to get an invite out to Bio Test Subject. They may actually be joining me for round 1 of play here. Again, guys, Bio is one of our newer shoutcasters. Will be joining us to do some play-by-play this evening. Looking to get an invite to him out into round 1 of play here. Again, this is round 1 of play for Not So Stock Gaming's semi-pro tournament. This is currently Dark Corp shoutcasting for you. Going to be joined by Bio momentarily, I do believe. And we have round 1 coming up on the stream here. It's going to be the D matchup from the bracket. Team UIC on the blue side facing off against UMBC B team on the purple side. We have 3 other matchups happening in round 1. Looking like I need to refresh that page. There we go. We do have Versatile versus Gem Nations as the A matchup. The Auspicious Ostriches versus Vicarious as the B matchup. And I Don't Care versus Team Big Dong Muchachos as the C bracket. The C matchup on the bracket. And of course that D matchup, which we have determined that we will be streaming for round 1 of play. For those of you not aware, we do stream 1 game per round as all matches occur concurrently. We will have 3 games on the stream this evening. Our quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals matchups here. So UIC or UMBC will be moving on into that semifinals matchups, and we will be following that winner to face off against the winner of the C matchup on the bracket. Looking like Bio is into the lobby here, so give us 1 moment. Unfortunately, we'll be popping Skype up onto the screen, sending out a call to our casters to apologize for the noise there. Looking to get Bio into call. There we go.
Hold on,
Welcome, Bio.
which one's yours? This one's right.
What's that, Bio? It's hard to hear you. Seeing Pack Mushroom come into the lobby here, looking like Heart and Soul may not be playing this evening for UMBC B team. Looking like Bio may be having some technical difficulties this evening.
Hello?
Hey, there we go.
Do I sound any different?
Yeah, you sound a little better there now. Let us know on the stream there, guys, if you can hear Bio as well. Looking like we're testing out a new mic here this evening. The last time we had him from a built-in microphone, it was a little bit hard to understand him. Again, we do have 10 summoners into this lobby, and we are past the hour mark here now. So all matches are free to get themselves started. Again, guys, heading into round 1 of play here, we have UIC on the blue side, and they're facing up against UMBC B team on the purple side. Waiting for both teams to be ready. Purple side has said they're ready. Looking like a Let's Go is coming out, and both teams are ready to get into champion selection here. We will be underway now for round 1 of play. Getting somebody commenting in Twitch that they would like to help volunteer shoutcast with us, feel free to send us an email to admin@notsostock.ca, and we'll be happy to discuss that with you further at your earliest convenience. Seeing Lucian here as the first ban from UIC. Of course, with these two teams knowing each other, I suspect we'll have some targeted bans coming out against these summoners. Gnar also banned out by UMBC.
Am I coming in clear?
I've got you. How about Twitch chat? Can you guys hear Bio properly? Understand what he is saying? Are we both fairly even in volume? I'm going to check my status here, turn my sound all the way up, make sure that you guys are getting the full feed effect. Rise also being banned out there by UIC, and a Zillion ban following up from UMBCB team. Some very non-standard bans here coming through. Though I suppose Gnar and Zilean, fairly popular champions, not uncommon to see them banned out. Ryze and Lucian also not all that uncommon, though to see them opted for over other bans that are fairly popular, like that Morgana ban we're now seeing come out, is a little bit odd, though Morgana has now been banned out from the game. Blue side likely feeling a little bit more comfortable. Seeing Caitlyn there as the last ban from UMBC B team. So we've had 2 ADCs, 2 top laners, a mid laner, and a support banned out by these two teams in round 1. Janna also going to be almost insta-locked by UIC. Really, we've seen them play Janna previously in Not So Stock Gaming tournament streams. Excited Soup looking to pick up a Zed into this matchup that will get swapped out for a Corkian and or Jay. Will now hover over that Zed pick for their team. Indeed, Zed will get locked in for UMBC B team. Once again, guys, it is UIC on the blue side, UMBC B team on the purple side for this round 1 game in Not So Stock Gaming's semi-pro tournament. Waiting on Chow and Scooby to select their champions here. Looking like we could have a Vayne Janna bottom lane. That's a fairly scary bottom lane, though Corki is one of the higher rated ADCs as well. We'll see what kind of support gets locked in for UMBC this evening. Chopping over a Lee Sin pick as well. Going to be a fairly strong early game for the blue side if that does get locked in. Scooby will opt to lock in the Vayne. Lee Sin still being hovered over here. Only 1 second remaining though. It appears Lee Sin will be getting selected for UIC. Not quite sure if that will be their top mid or their jungle. We have seen Lee Sin in lane before, though he has traditionally played throughout the jungle most frequently. Exorcist 999 and Hikaru Shindo now looking to pick up their champions. Maokai will be hovered over here. A fairly strong team composition starting to build up for the purple side as well. 2 great carries, and the Maokai for the utility tank and a little bit additional damage as well. If you can get Maokai stuck onto a target, one of those assassins or even your ADC coming in there can be enough to pick up multiple kills throughout the game. Looking at Kha'Zix also being hovered over here. This is where I said multiple assassins to synergize with that Maokai. Indeed, both Maokai and Kha'Zix will be locked in here for UMBC B team on the purple side. Lissandra locked in almost instantly for UIC. Believe that will be their mid laner for this round 1 game. Waiting on Tech Communist to pick up his champion. Thought it said communication at first, been like, yeah, teamwork, communication. But no, that's a plug for the communism. Go to Communist, pick up your champion. Looking for a top laner or a jungle pick here potentially. Suspect that Lee Sin is the jungler here for UIC, so look likely to see a top lane champion selected here onto Tech Communist. Only 7 seconds now remaining for him to finalize that pick, and nothing yet being hovered over here. Jace, though, will get locked in. Appears that we will have a top lane Jace for UIC. A decent amount of AD. Of course, rounded out by the Janna and Lissandra, giving them a fairly well-rounded team composition, though lacking slightly in the tank department. Maokai, of course, going to be doing that job for UMBC B team. We've also seen them now lock in a Viger, I believe, for their mid lane. Looking like we'll have Kha'Zix in the jungle for them as well, meaning it will be a I'm slightly confused. That could be a Corki Viger bottom lane or a Corki Zed bottom lane. The double mid laner pick, though, Zed is showing Ignite, making me think we will have a Viger playing as support in this matchup. We'll see how that plays through for UMBC team. A little bit of a cheese pick here, coming into round 1 of play. Viger playing as support. Won't be able to utilize the skill from his Q quite as much. Won't be able to build those stacks to get as much damage as he would in a solo lane, but his lockdown and his damage potential will still be fairly large, suspecting he might build full AP as opposed to going for a utility role. Again, guys, these champions are now finalized onto these summoners. Their runes, masteries, and summoner spells are finalized as well. These guys are actually loading into their game currently. May have even hit the rift moments ago. We have about 2.5 minutes of spectator delay remaining before we will be loading into the game. Of course, that is the 3-minute period enforced by Riot, more or less to prevent screen peeking or stream watching from other players. Again, guys, about 2 minutes of that spectator remaining, and then we'll be into round 1 of play for Not So Stock Gaming's semi-pro tournament. Going to be myself, Dark Orb, shoutcasting for you guys this evening, as well as Bio doing some play-by-play for us.
I apologize for being quiet and making you do the rest of it, because I've been fiddling with my mic to see if it's actually been working, which...
Not a problem. It's starting to sound a little bit better there. You were a little clicky, a little crackly as you got connected. Hearing a tiny bit there now, but you're sounding a lot more clear than you did originally. So I think we're doing quite well this evening. No complaints from the stream yet about not being able to understand you. Again, guys, if you have any problems with our volume this evening, any issues trying to understand what we're saying, let us know, and we'll try and get those issues corrected for you. About 1 minute here of spectator remaining, getting to my favorite part of the game, where we get to see those skins and trims going into the round. Of course, that's not actually my favorite part of the game. There's going to be some huge action coming out through this round 1 game, I suspect. Again, these two teams are aware of each other, may actually be friends on their friends lists. Getting reports from X-Corvette that he knows Excited Soup. They are actually rival/friend teams. So looking forward to an interesting matchup here. Again, that Viger pick into the bottom lane for UMBC B team. I am quite curious to see how this game plays out. Again, guys, heading into round 1 of play here this evening, going to be UIC on the blue side and UMBC B team on the purple side. Again, those acronyms are their actual team names. I'm not quite sure what they could stand for. Looking like UMBC B team might be a university team, and with the U before the IC, I suspect they may be in the same situation. Looking at collegiate teams forming up over the last couple of months, looking for a little bit of additional practice before they go into the main events of their collegiate tournaments, potentially. We are now heading into this load screen, seeing a number of diamond platinum trims come out, as well as 2 silvers and a non-trimmed summoner. So a huge ELO increase for those 2 silver trimmed summoners, coming up into the platinum and diamond range, I do believe. Again, it is required that summoners be between gold 5 and diamond 1 in order to participate this evening. That is their current solo queue ratings. We should be onto the rift momentarily, seeing everybody here sitting at 100%. Not yet hearing the sounds of the rift. Normally we hear it a few seconds before it appears, getting no cues that we're loading into this game despite everybody sitting 100% loaded in. I believe I may be hearing something there now, though I could just be crazy. A little bit of too much
Actually,
anticipation.
Sorry for that, but actually I'm on the rift right now. How about you?
Alright, Bio has gotten into the game here. Apparently I'm just a little bit behind, stuck in this load screen currently. We do apologize for the delay here, guys. And there we go, I'm about 27 seconds into the game here, seeing everybody set up for their jungle plays. With that, I'm going to potentially hand things over to Bio as action begins to break out. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit of time until the summoners do connect with each other. Purposide looking for an invade against UIC. Have been successful getting to UIC's Tribush into the bottom lane with a 5-man invade. Lee Sin positioned into the top lane could mean it's going to be a successful invade for UMBC. B team going to be looking for a quick champion pick here and potentially a red buff steal. 4 members of UIC are around the mid and bottom half of the jungle. UMBC has not yet been spotted out here. They're going to step onto a ward though, and UIC will now be aware of their presence in the blue side jungle.
And we can see Lee Sin going, warding their red for a counter vision. Kind of stumbling a bit right now. And they will be going back to their respective buffs.
Indeed, that deep ward from the Lee Sin may be key for them, though I think it may actually end up being down before the Kha'Zix makes his way over to his own red buff. Of course, had a steal occurred, that would have been a well-placed buff for the Lee Sin.
Lee Sin, Jason, Lissandra going for potentially going in for the steal as Kha'Zix and Veigar are not aware. But currently they should be aware now as they do not see Lee Sin starting at his red, or they might think he's starting at his blue.
Indeed, Lee Sin will go for a red buff steal. It's going to play well into his favor with Kha'Zix starting on his blue. If he doesn't immediately move over to the blue side of the jungle, pick up that red buff, he'll be significantly behind Lee Sin in this early game.
Dead already, half health due to Lissandra's free poke.
Across the board, it seems like Corki has picked up an early advantage over the Vayne, though it is a minimal advantage. Vayne slowly catching up there, sitting now down only 2 CS. Jace could be trying to engage onto Maokai in the top lane. Kha'Zix has just spotted out that his red buff has been taken. Lee Sin quickly pinging down onto his red buff, looking like he's going to prevent Kha'Zix from making any kind of counterplay into his jungle. It's going to be a strong start for the blue side, Lee Sin. Veigar managed to get a little bit of poke onto Vayne into the bottom lane here. We'll see how much utility, how much damage he can build out there. A nice stun coming through from the Veigar. Vayne down to about 100 HP, but Lissandra comes into the bottom lane here. Looking like Veigar could go down. A heal comes out from the Corki. That's going to be first blood going over onto Corki, however. Veigar will go down, but it does cost Vayne her life through that play. Great play by both teams there. Corki coming out a little bit ahead in that exchange with the first blood gold for his team. See some blue side pings on the Kha'Zix as Lee Sin goes for a counter dome. It's going to be an extremely strong start here for the blue side. The early roam from the Lissandra and this strong jungle start from the Lee Sin, despite him not getting any effective ganks across yet, are going to start working out into their favor here. Lee Sin now into the mid lane onto that, takes a punishment for it though. from the Viger connects onto Vayne, and Vayne goes down to about a half per HP. Huge damage coming up from the Corki. Vayne flashes away to save the remaining about 100 HP. Will stay in the lane at least momentarily. Viger going to try and finish. That'll be more action into the mid lane. Zed just juking damage coming out from the Lissandra. Kaz can come out into the mid lane for his first gank of the game here. Maokai engaging onto Jace in the top lane as well. Jace getting down to about half HP, and a sapling will connect onto Jace. A great start there for Maokai in the top lane, though he is sitting down about 5 farm under Jace currently. That is actually the result of Maokai backing, and Jace still being in lane from the beginning of the game at this 5-minute mark.
We can potentially see Lissandra coming down bot for a roaming gank, but Kha'Zix may have spied her out along with the ward too. Lissandra gang the W on Vigor, and it will cost Vigor his life. Corki gang stunned into the wall, and he Valkyries away to dodge the silver bolt.
The stun from Vigor almost got them to safety there, but Lissandra's roam has been too much for Purpleside's bottom lane. Seeing a fairly even trade so far in the top lane. It appears that Lissandra, though down 10 CS under the Zed in her mid lane, has 2 assists to her name, meaning they should be fairly even in gold. Looking at the gold score, she's actually down about 100 gold under Zed, so Zed doing very well for UMBC B team. Like Viger and Janna have been duking it out in the bottom lane. Both ADCs will be making their way back out to lane here. It appears that Vayne may stop for Golems. The Golems actually are not on the map, so she makes her way directly out into the lane. Looks like she will be now solo against the Corki Vigor pairing. Vigor looking to get a little bit of vision control for himself, places a ward into the river. Of course, opts drop it directly into the center of the river as opposed to into the river bush. Gives him slightly better early warning, but not as strong overall control. You're relying on their map awareness as opposed to being able to spot out junglers coming in, sitting in that river bush, waiting for their ganks.
Lee Sin being in quite a bit of a bind, but he'll be okay. Pings coming from both sides of the trades going in on the bot lane between the Corki Vega and the Vayne Janna pair. Things seem to go back to normal after that.
Zed is going to be alone in the mid lane here as Lee Sin and Lissandra successfully steal a blue buff from the purple side's Kha'Zix and the Zed. Lee Sin doing very well counter jungling against UMBC B team so far in this matchup. Potentially looking for some roam here, actually looking to pick up his blue buff with the Kha'Zix. They will unfortunately spot out that it is no longer available. It has been taken away by the Lissandra Lee Sin pair, and Lee Sin now picking up his own blue buff here, meaning both the mid laner and the jungler for UIC will be empowered with their blue buffs.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Viger coming back into the lane there takes a huge amount of pressure. Vayne and Janna getting extremely low here though. As Corki looks to continue the engagement, Vayne will go down. Janna could quickly follow, and that's going to be a double kill for the Corki. Lissandra looking to engage onto Zed, takes a little bit of a punishment for it there. Going to see UMBC B team setting up for the first dragon of the game here. It will be contested though.
Meanwhile, as that's happening, Maokai and Jace are fighting each other in the top lane, but it seems to be going in favor of Jace as Maokai is trying to run away, but will flash his Q, and Jace will continue to chase. barely misses the EQ combo, and Maokai will get away with his life as blue team slays the dragon. Lee Sin gets a good steal on it.
Yeah, despite only Lissandra and Lee Sin being there against 4 members of UMVCB team, Lee Sin went in pretty much fearless. A nice Q combo onto Dragon with his smite, and then flashed back out over the wall to maintain his life after the Dragon steal. Looking like Zed has been forced out of lane. Lissandra will be able to get a little bit of pressure there, though Vygar's looking to contest this. A nice stun comes out from the Vygar, and Lissandra goes down to half HP here. Vayne and Janna going to free farm into the bottom, and Corki has returned though to contest and keep that turret alive. Vygar looking to stop his roam into the mid lane, making his way back out to the bottom to assist with the Corki. Going to take the safe route there. Corki now being by himself against the Janna Vayne pair. They could have potentially engaged there, but they opt not to. Vygar makes the way back out to lane, and they will be slightly safer in the bottom lane. A nice stun prison coming out from the Vygar. Janna gets locked in, but Vayne stands inside of it. Vayne down to 100 HP there. Heal comes out from the Janna, and nicely timed ultimate, blasting the Corki and Vygar back, keeping her Vayne alive. Vayne and Janna having taken a fair amount of pressure. They're set up onto their golems. This actually may steal those away. Opts to just get a shield onto the Vayne though, handing them over to the Vayne for the additional gold onto his carry. Of course, this being a team game and not solo queue, Lee Sin does the nice thing there. Now making a gank into the bottom, and Vayne never gets stunned out. Down to about 100 HP, a nice kick from Lee Sin. Vygar down to 100 HP, goes down to the Janna. Now into the top lane, as well as Kha'Zix goes full ham onto Jason. Maokai going to survive that with about 300 HP. Corki fairly low in the bottom lane as well. All lanes here with huge action going on. Lee Sin will begin to recall from the bottom lane, leaving Janna and Corki to try and duke that out. Corki fairly low here, has popped a health potion though, and is slowly becoming healthy once again.
Lissandra locking Zed in row, and Zed will go down to less than half HP. But will he go down? And he goes down. Lissandra seems to try and skip away, but Vygar will come in and get the stun, but she stands inside it, and the kill will go to Maokai as both TPs as teleports from both sides go on cooldown. Corki alone against Janna Vayne. May seem to get the kill on Janna, but will Valkyrie away as Vayne comes in. Jay spying out Vygar, trying to get vision control. And Corki will almost get executed by the white, blowing heals so that he does not. And he will back after that. Pings going on in the mid lane as Vygar gets spotted out by Lee Sin, but will go down as he failed his flash. Kill will go to Lee Sin, and Zed and Kha'Zix will do nothing. Corki alone bottom trying to gang some free farm as Kha'Zix and Zed will take their blue. Janna getting vision control.
Zed looking to keep that vision warded alive around the mid lane, will be forced off as the Sangha comes in to assist the Janna. Corking the pressure against this bottom lane turret as well here. Gets a nice crit onto Vayne there, a huge amount of pressure from the one attack. Could be overextended here, but Janna's back into the bottom. Lissandra also into the bottom lane here. 3 versus 3 fight. The alternates out from the Jhin, I believe from Lissandra as well right there.
Meanwhile that happening, Zed will pick up mid turret, Corki will get the kill on Vayne, and Corki will get a double kill, and let's see if will he get the triple? Triple kill. Will that be the quadra though if Lissandra decides to stick around? Note Lissandra does the right thing and backs off as to prevent Corki from getting an even bigger gold advantage, which is currently 2.4 thousand. And the turret will also help in that gold too. Zed seems to run top.
Team Corki.
That was also good with Veigar too, as that happened, Zed came up and got the kill off of Jace between Maokai and them, and they will look to get the turret as Veigar places down a ward onto Dragon, will spot out a vision ward from the blue team. And that will be the second Dragon of the... No, the steal will not go to Lee Sin this time, but Lissandra goes in and will pick up the kill on Veigar, and Kha'Zix will go down and give Lissandra the double kill. Maokai instead pushing onto the inner tier top turret, seeming to get it down to half HP before Jace decides to do anything, and Jace will potentially go down. Kill goes to Zed, and they will get the second top turret. Meanwhile, Lisa and Jaina and Lissandra will be pushing onto the inner tier mid turret, getting it down to less than half health, getting it down to a quarter, and that will be a 2-4 turret skill for turret score. And as that, Vayne is getting some more damage onto the turret, and that will slowly even out the turret score.
Taking a look across the map here, we have an 11-8 kill score so far. Looking like UMBC has that kill advantage as well as a 1 turret advantage here, sitting at 4 turrets to 6. They're up only 3,000 gold overall though. Looking like Jace will be doing fairly well in the top lane despite being 0-3. In the other lanes, everybody seems to be doing fairly well as far as farmers concerned, aside from Lissandra sitting down away 40 farm under the Zed. She's sitting up 1 kill and 3 assists over him, however. Has roughly the same amount of gold, only a 200 gold division there in the mid lane.
Lissandra getting a good old onto herself, and that Veigar getting stunned, panic ensues. Corki will go down to the Vayne, as Vayne will not get the double kill, but will go on to Maokai. Flashes blown on both sides. And after that, it will just be an even trade for 1-for-1 ADC over the mid laner. Pings from blue side going over the top, as Jace will spot out the vision ward placed by UMBC, and they will proceed to push top, but Zed spots him out and will go as he walks over a ward and will be alerted to the blue team as his presence is shown. Veigar going up there too, roaming there, walking over another ward with his Oracle's lens will spot out the ward. Maokai instead will clear out the wave being pushed onto the top turret, and that will let UIC back as Maokai will start to push on the top. Red buff going over to Corki as Zed has already have it. Maokai being spotted out, but will go down unfortunately for him.
It's going to be a huge response onto Maokai from UIC. Vagar looked to come in onto that, but thinks better of it as Maokai goes down. Not looking to get into a 3 versus 1 situation for himself there. Looking at the scoreboard here, we are still seeing UIC down about 3,000 gold, down 2 kills and 1 turret. I believe they are up a dragon. Only recall 1 dragon going down so far in this game, though I'm seeing dragon not currently on the map, so that could have been evened out with the second dragon going down.
And currently dragon will spawn in a minute 45 seconds as both teams have 1 dragon. Jade's getting the top turret. Outer tier top turret as Vane gets spotted out by Vagar. We'll get this unlock and Lissandra will get the good ult on Zed. Maokai teleporting in will get knocked away by Jace. And as the acceleration gate goes out, Lissandra is trying to get some free poke onto it. Vane escapes with a flash tumble, and we can see Vagar picking up a kill on Lissandra. Quickly getting kill on Jace, Lee Sin getting Maokai. Kha'Zix finally getting Vane, but will go down to Lee Sin as Jaina is all by herself at the mercy of Vagar and Corki. And speaking of that, Corki will get the triple kill, and that will be a 5 for 3 ace.
Corki once again doing extremely well in the team fight situations, turns that fight around in favor of his team there. After they lose their first member, continue it 4 versus 5. It's going to be a great play by the bottom lane there from UMBC B team. Looking now at a 17-13 kill score. They have secured themselves another 2,000k worth of gold in their advantage over Team UIC for a total of a 4,000 gold lead currently. A nice stun comes out from Vagar, stopping the advancement from the Jace, and Lissandra there not quite able to finish off that second mid lane turret. Turret has about 2 hits of HP remaining onto it. Lee Sin could be in trouble here as he engages, or looks to engage, against 3 members of UMBC B team.
Maokai spotting out, Lissandra will fight each other for a bit. Kha'Zix getting Empire W on the side. Jaina placing down Vision Ward on his blue. Getting some vision control as Kha'Zix will take it out. Heavy poke coming out from blue team as they will set up for the dragon.
Looking like UIC will indeed set up for this dragon, and it could go down uncontested despite UMBC being fairly close. And that will be a successful dragon for the blue side. I believe that could be their 3rd dragon of the game there. The dragon control looking like it could be their one saving grace here. They're down a couple of kills, though they've actually evened out the turret score as well, so their projectile control in general could be their saving grace. A little bit of poking from both sides here, so skirmish around the mid lane river. UMBC B team looking to siege down onto this mid lane inner turret. It does have almost no HP remaining. A shield comes out from the Jaina, but that will not be enough to keep it alive. Turret goes down almost instantly. Sin follows up quickly behind it. Maokai forced to flash out of that team fight to maintain his life, and Valkyrie will come through from the Corki as well, but he goes back in and it costs him his life as Lissandra gets a shutdown. UIC looking to relieve pressure from the mid lane, clear out the vision and sight ward placed down by UMBC B team. Trying to continue engagement here onto the Zed. Zed could go down as Vane gets into range. It's going to be a 3 versus 1 against as Zed gets locked down, and he does go down. Ignite onto Lissandra, not quite enough to finish her off here. UIC making a bit of a comeback with those plays despite losing their mid lane inner turret. They're now down only 2,000 gold despite being down 3 kills and a turret. They have 3 dragons to their name so far. Have done very well exchanging with UMBC B team. The UMBC B team is looking to get some control around the Baron pit. Still a little bit early in the situation we're seeing both of these teams in for them to try and set up for a Baron. They're going to be looking to effect control around the Baron area to make sure their opponents don't attempt an early Baron either. UIC setting up for another blue buff steal here from UMBC team. That will be a second, if not third, successful steal of the Elder Lizard buff onto Lissandra. Lee doing a great job counter-jungling for his team here this evening. Again, guys, this is round 1 of play for Not So Stock Gaming's semi-pro tournament. Currently watching UIC, and they are on the blue side of the map, facing off against UMBC B team. And they're playing on the purple side this evening. Prison comes out from the Vigor, but does not lock down the Janet Kazoo, so to continue an engagement there. Really looking to siege down into the mid lane. Opt off of that though. Looking now for a Jace pick potentially. Actually going for a blue buff steal of their own here. Interesting choice to not go for Jace. Pick up that blue buff for their team. Of course from the opposition. You guys, UIC on the blue side, UMBC on the purple side. Takes a huge amount of pressure there, but excited Summon Corki will go down first in this fight. Janet goes down as well here, though. Tactics gets deleted as Vayne picks up a double kill. Going to pick up a triple kill here. Going to be first triple kill for this Vayne. Looking to get herself caught up to the Corki, who's picked up 2 of them so far in the match. UIC will opt to push their advantage here, taking out 4 members of UMBC B team. They set up for a Baron play here. Baron goes down to half of his HP, and looking at the score where they have evened out the kill score, they are down only about 1,000 gold, and after Baron goes down, they will actually be ahead in gold by 1,000. So UIC has just turned this match around into their favor. At the map here, we are seeing a huge number of wards placed down from the blue side. Despite being slightly behind most of the game, they have not forgotten their objective control. And yes, I do consider vision an objective in the game. Maintaining strong vision and stopping your opponents from doing the same can be the big difference between a easy win and a hard loss. UMBC actually looking to effect division control for themselves here. Have managed to clear out most of the blue team wards in the bottom half of their jungle. We're going to see Lissandra engage on Zed. Zed looking to counter engage back onto Lissandra. We end up in a 4 versus 1, and it does cost him his life. UIC looking for their first inhibitor turret of the game here after just evening out the turrets for taking down that top lane inner turret. Lissandra looks to engage on the Maka, but chooses not to go in fully on that. You can see the Vigor stun land onto 3 members of UIC. Vayne now face tanking that inhibitor, but the turret will go down in this engagement. Remembering that Zed is dead for 10 more seconds here, the inhibitor will go down as well, as it's a 5 versus 4 engagement for UIC. Stun goes up from the Vigor, but will not connect. A nice poke coming back in from the Jace to stop the pursuit from UMBC B team. Again, guys, UIC on the blue side this evening for our round 1 game on this stream. UMBC B team on the purple side.
Lissandra seems to be waiting out for somebody to get caught out as Team UIC will pick up their third dragon, is it?
This actually might be their fourth dragon of the game going down here. We see them effect huge control of that dragon. It's going to be a huge team fight coming through. The Delta comes out from the Janna. Lissandra picks up a kill onto Corki, and this fight could quickly go into their favor. Corki not available to clean up for UMBCB team. Lissandra picks up a double kill. It's going to be a 3-for-0 trade in favor of UIC. They could be looking to end the game here. Successful mid lane inhibitor and a successful mid lane inhibitor. UMBC now with only one inhibitor remaining, though it is protected by 2 turrets still in the bottom lane. Seeing UIC looking to win this matchup, they were behind until roughly the 25-minute mark into this game. And now they have turned that around and picked up roughly a 6,000 gold advantage for the team, setting up 4 kills, 2 turrets, and I believe 4, if not 5 dragons as this one looks to go down. Another uncontested dragon going over to UIC on the blue side. Seeing UMBC look to relieve pressure from the top and mid lanes, let their inhibitors potentially respawn back into this matchup, and look to pick up an advantage for themselves. Once again, they are down about 6,000 gold here. Though that 6,000 gold was quickly gained by UIC, UMBC could as quickly turn it back around into their favor here. UIC with the timer on UMBC's blue buff, looking for another steal here. Potentially some plays into their bottom lane. Get those last 2 turrets off of the map. Lissandra going to go full hammer, gets locked down, and it will cost her her life. Going to be a shutdown for the Corki. Vayne gets a kill onto Zed. However, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Vayne extremely low in this fight. A nice kill coming out from the Janna to keep Vayne alive at this point. Maverick to continue the engagement though. Corki picks up a kill onto Jace as the fray continues. UMBC looking to come back, and this Corki will pick up a double kill. Now has a double buffs for himself. Vayne extremely low here. Lee Sin looking to keep her alive. Lee Sin engages against the Corki. He might not be quite enough to finish it off. He's going to do a fair amount of damage here. Fire coming in from the side will lock down Lee Sin. Vayne looking to come into this Corki, and Lee Sin down to about 100 HP, and Lee Sin will go down. Gatling gun comes out from the Corki, and ultimate not quite long to connect onto the Vayne, but Veigar could finish things off here. Veigar gets deleted. Corki gets deleted as well as Vayne picks up a double kill. The outplay by Scooby. Buff transfer completed onto Vayne. Vayne now with the double buffs. Buffs going from Lee Sin onto Corki. And from the Corki onto Vayne here. Vayne now looking for a turret in the bottom lane. Kha'Zix is in range to defend it, but potentially not willing to engage against Vayne at this point. Vayne sitting 13-5 is actually even with Corki. And top lane inhibitor has respawned back into the game. Maokai looking to contest as Jace tries to take it down. It's going to be a fairly successful base defense here from UMBC B team. Jace still looking to come back in onto that inhibitor potentially. Will actually rotate into the mid lane to join the remainder of his team. Baron is back onto the map. We could see UIC setting up for their second Baron here. Lissandra walks into the Vigor, and takes huge damage, and she does go down. As Cage is a little bit late, can't quite connect onto Vayne there. Nice poke coming up from the Jace, will land on to Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix down to about half of his HP right now. Seeing more poke come out from the Jace, connects onto Vigor this time. Trouble side pings coming out for the Baron pit here. Q comes through from Jen and connects only onto the Maokai. Their Pork takes a little bit of punishment. We could see a 5-man Baron being set up here by UMBC B team. UIC not quite able to respond to this with full strength. They're going to try and contest it by taking down that mid lane inhibitor. A decent strategic choice when they can get that mid lane inhibitor. It will be a good play. Getting the top lane inhibitor would secure them a little bit more of an advantage, requiring UMBC B team to farm out and defend their base with their Baron buff. Vayne looking to engage and contest against the actual Baron buff itself. Gets locked onto by the Zed and she will go down. See both the inhibitors from UMBC B team go down to UIC's advance, meaning they will have a slightly tougher time trying to put their Baron buff to good use. Of course, stopping UIC from getting that buff is going to work in their advantage, meaning UIC will not have the strength they would have been looking for from Baron to finish off the game. UMBC will have a little bit of time here in order to try and get themselves caught up. They're only down about 3,000 gold despite being down by 3 turrets and those 2 inhibitors currently. Despite the top end mid lane inhibitors being down on UMBC's side of the map, we're not seeing nearly as much pressure into those lanes as I would have expected. Those minions have only just begun spawning. We're going to see Maokai and potentially Vigor respond into the top lane to relieve the pressure that is slowly building up on their half of the map. 2 summoners into the mid lane as well as Lissandra begins to push. Looking for her red buff, and Lee Sin will engage onto Dragon by himself. Lissandra looking to assist him. Vayne and Janna also coming in from the side there for the Dragon play. Pings coming out from UIC onto that bottom lane inhibitor turret. That is the last turret remaining on UMBC's side of the map, aside from their 2 Nexus turrets, which have yet to go down. Of course, UIC not in much better shape with only their inhibitor turret as well as that 1 bottom lane inner turret, so actually 3 turrets better off than UMBC is. We'll see if UMBCC can change that around. Those are going to get a little bit of pressure in the bottom lane here. Kha'Zix getting a bit of poke back onto UIC. Again, these acronyms choking me up a little bit here. So many C's in this matchup again, guys. It is UIC on the blue side, UMBC B team on the purple side. Lissandra gets locked down by the prison from the Vigor, but it's not going to be enough to take her down this time. We've seen her locked down twice before and almost instantly deleted. The rest of UMBC not in range that time to finish her off. Coming out from the Zed and the Kha'Zix, they're looking to keep this bottom lane inhibitor turret safe. They do have that Baron buff. There's going to be some damage coming out onto Lissandra here. A huge poke from just Vigor himself, getting down to about a quarter of her HP in that burst. Vigor goes into that 1 versus 5 and survives. They're looking to go over the wall, but she will not follow it through though. Jace looking for some poke there, but they're not going to be able to successfully take down this bottom lane inhibitor while UMBC B team is empowered with their Baron buff and in full range to contest. The Maokai has split off into the top lane, doing a great job relieving pressure from that top lane. Seeing members of the team also split off into the mid lane, that mid lane inhibitor has come back up, meaning the top lane inhibitor will be coming back up momentarily as well. Their Baron buff has almost expired here, I do believe, being slightly longer than the timer on those inhibitors. Well, I apologize, has expired, being a little bit less than the timer on those inhibitors coming back up. We're going to see what UMBC B team can pull off here. Now they've successfully defended their base, allowed those inhibitors to respawn. It has, however, timed out their Baron buff, so a great choice by UIC to take those two inhibitors as UMBC took the Baron. At a 26-25 kill score here as we have hit the 40-minute mark in this game. UIC is up 8 turrets to 5 over UMBC. Though turret score does not mean everything here. We're seeing only a 3,000 gold advantage for UIC. A poor engagement from either team at this point in the game could be the end. Maokai down to about 400 meters, stunned out from the Fire connects onto Lee Sin. Lissandra picks up a kill as she goes full ham onto Maokai. Lissandra will go down in 2. They're going to be a 1-4-1 trade so far. Once again, there are 4 members from UIC here, 2 assault base from UMBC, only 3 defenders from UMBC. They're going to lose both of those inhibitors fairly quickly to UIC's assault. UIC looking to end the game here, not quite strong enough to do it at this time. Those 2 inhibitors going down will give them an advantage here. Baron coming back onto the map in about 1 minute. Up the large Wraith camp there for himself before he begins to recall. Lee Sin also recalling from their side of the jungle. UMBC looking to farm out those lanes, relieve as much pressure as they can. Both inhibitors once again being taken. I believe that is the 4th time UIC has taken the top and a mid lane inhibitor off of the map from UMBC B team. Getting a request that we pop up the gold tab. Gold tab now popped up for you. I do apologize for that, guys. Sandra looking to engage there potentially. Again, there's only a 3,000 overall gold difference between these two teams, seeing roughly a 2,000 difference in favor of UIC in the top lane. Fairly even between those two jungles. There's a 1,000 difference in favor again of UIC in the mid lane. And then even for the bottom lane pairs on both the ADC and the support, so those gold differences being from the carries on UIC aside from the bottom lane carry who has been matched fairly evenly by UIC's Vayne. I apologize, by UMBC's Corki. Same stuff, different barrel. Baron will go down here uncontested to UIC. UIC looking to use that Baron to end the game here potentially. Do have both of those inhibitors off of the map. The inhibitor in the mid lane and the top lane. Kha'Zix looking to defend the bottom lane as that has the inhibitor and the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane. It's going to be their best chance for surviving this matchup. Of course, if they can't keep those mid and top lane inhibitors alive to prevent super mages from spawning against them, it's going to be a tough matchup for them to come back from here as well. Again, we did see UMBC with an advantage with the early portion of this game. UIC turning around at roughly the 23-minute mark. It's been extremely close so far. The Summoner engages fairly heavily onto Corki there, but it costs her as she gets stunned down and killed. Going to see Jace also going down here. UIC potentially overextending into UMBC's base with their Baron buff. Vayne also going to go be a 4-for-0 trade, 5-for-0 trade. 50 seconds till UIC comes back onto the map. I believe this is the game for the UMBC B team. Going to watch them walk down the mid lane, pick up that mid lane, inhibitor turret, inhibitor, both of those Nexus turrets, and finish the game. They have 30 seconds remaining to do this. See if they can be fast enough, if they have the bravery to face tank those turrets. Kha'Zix will walk in range, begins face tanking. 25 seconds for Lissandra to come back onto the map. They may have a contest around the Nexus. Kaz is going to take a huge amount of pressure. The turret will go down. This inhibitor will go down as well. Inhibitor down to half. 15 seconds for Lissandra. 17 seconds for the Janna. Going to see Viger face tank the first Nexus turret. First Nexus turret down to half HP. Kazak's taking turrets here will get executed. Going to be 3 members of UMBC-B team trying to finish off. Lissandra has come back onto that. It's extreme look here. Lissandra could pick up a kill onto that, but then dashes away. And that's the Nexus, folks. Round 1 of play has officially concluded. This is actually the last round 1 matchup to get itself concluded, meaning we're heading into round 2 here almost immediately. Going to be UMBC-B team playing against I Don't Care in our semi-finals for Not So Stock Gaming's semi-pro tournament. Gem Nason also playing against Vicarious in the other semi-finals matchup there. Again, looking for an invite into this game. Let's see which team won it. It was the purple side. That was UMBC-B team. Excited Soup is a member of that team. Do you believe I have Excited Soup on my friends list? Apparently not. See if I have space to add an additional player. Get us into this round 2 game here momentarily. Hey, it's gonna let me. Here we go. Again, guys, heading into round 2. Jazziani is a member of I Don't Care, I believe. Gonna let him know to invite us as well in case I don't get that message from UMBC-B team. Getting reports that Excited Soup may have accidentally previously removed me from his friends list. I understand it happens. I purged my friends list randomly. I hit 300 and like, oh my gosh, people need to add me to see what's going on with the tournaments. And then I'm like, oh, they can't add me, or I can't add them to figure out what's going on with their matches. And then I have to remove people, so I remove people at random. Try not to remove people that I recognize as participants or friends, but occasionally people do go missing from my list. Looking at both teams slowly getting into this matchup here. Again, guys, heading into round 2 here. Round 2 is actually going to be the semi-finals of play in this Not So Stock Gaming semi-pro tournament with only 8 teams participating. Your odds of prizing are 50%. You just have to win that first game and then play through to the end. Of course, whether you win or lose in the semi-finals, you have one more game to play in order to determine your first, second, third, or fourth place titles. Again, guys, our round 2 game on the stream tonight is going to be I Don't Care with the tag of IDC on the blue side. The tag IDC. That is humorous, guys. They don't care if they DC. I see where they did there. UMBC-B team on the purple side with the tag of UMBC-B. Again, I see what they did there, but a little bit less clever. Huh. Anyways, guys, seeing all 10 summoners into this lobby. Going to be getting us started momentarily. Just looking to get a second shoutcaster into this match. Looking to see if it's going to be Bio or Pharaoh joining me for round 2 here. Again, guys, apologize for the silence. They're just looking to see who's joining me for our round 2 game again. Looking like it will be Pharaoh joining me for round 2 here. Get Pharaoh into the call momentarily. Again, guys, heading into round 2 of play here. Going to be the semi-finals matchup here between IDC and UMBC B Team. Again, with a tag like IDC. I'm going to call them that all night long. A little bit more interesting than I don't care, because I'm sure if they DC'd, there'd be a pause coming out very quickly, and they would definitely care about that one.
Alright guys, I'm in here. This is Sparrow. How y'all doing?
Alright, sounds like Pharaoh has joined us for this evening. Ooh, getting some hype in Twitch chat there. Looking like some fans of UMBC willing to put money on them coming out victorious in this matchup. Awesome.
Really, my Twitch chat's not running for me.
Oh no, we've gotten some reports about weird Twitch issues. Twitch could be having some server problems potentially. We know they've gone over some TOS changes recently and they're looking at getting themselves sold. So going over some structural changes as well potentially, or potentially being the victims of the ever-prevalent attacks that come across the internet. I don't think Twitch itself has ever actually been targeted by any of those things, or at least has not successfully been taken down that I'm aware of. So hopefully never happens. Again, guys, heading into round 2 here, looking like both teams are almost ready to go. I'm ready to go. I believe Pharaoh is ready to go as well. Of course, being the shoutcasters, our readiness not quite as important as the 2 teams participating.
Oh, speak for yourself. I don't know about all that.
Pharaoh's like, I have to be ready for these games, guys. Like, if they started without him, he would be extremely sad.
That's right. You ever heard a grown man cry on the internet?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Team 1. Here we have Iziani with the I Don't Care team. On the second team, we have... Their team is... BCB team. Hype!
Oh my, we've been invaded by Iziani. For those of you not aware, Iziani is actually an occasional shoutcaster here for Not So Little Gaming, not actually participating in our shoutcasting this evening. Just decided to jump onto the call and say, hey, we're here and we're playing. Again, guys, IDC on the blue side with Iziani, and UMBC B team on the purple side with the excited soup. I still say
so IDC
wins.
actually comes out with a Z band first. Really not surprising. He's been really strong, and I actually see him quite a bit in ranked lately. I am BCB, following up the Morgana band. She's possibly, in my opinion, the second strongest support in the game at the moment, the current meta and patch. Gnar being banned, kind of a surprise ban in my opinion.
We saw him banned out last game as well by UMBC B team, actually, I believe. So seeing him banned out by IDC is an interesting choice.
I mean, I can't really deny it. He's a strong pick, just kind of surprising.
A Cinder ban here as well, coming out from UMBC B team. Again, guys, it's IDC on the blue side and UMBC B team on the purple side.
Now, I have noticed that IMBCB is only banning purple champs. Is it because they are the purple team?
That's a good question. Are they color sensitive here? We'll see if we see a third purple band coming out. They could have something against those purple-hued champions. Seeing orange champions banned out by the blue side here, and it does come through with the Dr. Mundo ban. What just happened?
Bunch of colorists is what they are.
Lucian being interlocked here by IC Dead Seaman. Interesting name there by the ADC for the blue team.
I actually like the Lucian as the first pick. I'd say behind Tristana, he's possibly the strongest ADC at the moment. That burst damage, his ability to carry through the meta or the middle game is extremely high. So a really good first pickup for them.
Yeah, I believe we saw him banned out in round 1 of play. Actually, also seeing Maokai and Janna almost insta-locked here by UMBC B team. Nami and Jarvan 4 now being hovered over by IDC.
Kind of makes me wonder, you do see a lot of Janna and Lucian being played just because they burst damage with the shield. Do you think they picked Janna just to deprive IDC as from a Janna support?
We've seen Janna fairly highly contested. It's possible that they could have picked that to take it away from them, though I think we've seen Purple side play that Janna previously in matchups. Can't recall who had the Janna in round 1 there, if it was UMBC or if it was UIC in that matchup. Somebody in Twitch chat, remind us what we just watched. Was it a Janna played by UMBC in round 1 as well? Or has this Janna been picked up to take it away from the Lucian Janna pair potentially? And we are seeing a Nami locked in by the Null for IDC.
And as well as Vi, in case I missed that, I had a couple private messages coming through, so it distracted me. Curse you, curse you.
I think I may have actually miscommenting on that Vi pickup there. Not quite sure what they initially hovered over there. I think it may have been Vi hovered over and then locked in.
Yeah, the Vi is going to be a great pickup for their team as well. They have a ton of engage or disengage, both with the Nami ult and the, of course, for disengage, and then the Vi ult for engage.
Yeah, we'll see how UMBC chooses to play against that pair. I still expect Maokai will be their top laner, so the jungler has not yet been picked up. And of course, as they say that, Lee Sin will get locked in. I suspect that could be their jungler, as Fizz has also been locked here.
And Fizz is quite a good pickup as well. His ability to shut down Lucian is going to be extremely big and important for their team. So he's definitely going to have to get fed for their team in order to basically counteract the ADC of IDC.
Ahri and Lissandra both going to get hovered over here. We could have both AP top and mid laners for IDC in this matchup. Of course, as I said, the Ahri gets swapped out for a Teemo pick. We'll see what they choose to lock in for VNX.
Now, the Teemo might just be a troll hover. I've actually seen quite a bit of Lissandra top as of late. She's really dominant, plus her ability to escape and walk out of ganks also lends itself quite well to her top lane presence.
I don't think I've seen her too much throughout solo queue play, at least at my elo, the lower side of the map. However, in tournament plays, I have to agree with Pharaoh on that one. Lissandra has been becoming quite popular lately.
So, but I guess we are going to see her mid as opposed to top, though, as the Nasus was locked in with the teleport.
Indeed, Nasus has been locked in there. Haven't seen Nasus played very frequently at all in the last few months. Of course, Nasus always a strong champion, just not as popular lately. Teemo now being covered over once again, this time on UMBC. Will we have a Teemo into the game? It's all about that game, no Teemo.
Is that a what's it called? Basically, where you take a song, a parody of the All About the Bass.
Indeed, it was. Seeing Ezreal logged in here now by Exorcist999. Indeed, Teemo will not be making it into this matchup.
Sad day. I always enjoy seeing a good Satan played in the league.
I know, right? There's some of those champions that everyone hates to play against, but when you see someone play it well, you're like, oh my god, that's why they hate it.
Exactly. Alright, so it does look like IDC is going to be coming up with a Lucian Nami in the bot lane, a Vi in the jungle, a Lissandra in the mid lane, and a Nasus in the top. And then UMBCB is going to run a Maokai in the top lane, Fizz mid lane, Janna support, Ezreal, ADC, and of course Elise in the jungle. What do you think we can expect to see in throughout this game? I mean, what is your prediction, Dart?
I suspect Nasus could have a little bit of trouble starting off in the top lane, though if he can survive against Maokai, maybe sit on his turret and farm for the first 5-10 minutes of the game, coming through mid and late game, he should have an advantage there. Bottom lane looking a little bit interesting. Ezreal on a poke comp. Janna doesn't really synergize quite as well with that, in my opinion, though with Morgana banned out, that's of course who I would pick to lane with any kind of poke champion. Seeing Lucian and Nami in the bottom lane as well against them, the Janna should be a fair contest for Nami, in my opinion. Not quite sure how the Lucian Ezreals match up. Both of those very mobile champions. Indeed, seeing a lot of mobility across the map here, more so for the purple team though at this point.
Yeah, I think the majority of the action that we should expect to see is definitely going to be in the middle lane, and then followed up by the bottom lane. I would expect to see the Lucian Nami basically engage hard early and fast, and pretty much try to maintain that pressure. However, with the mobility, as you've already mentioned, on the Ezreal, and of course the Janna only increasing that mobility, if they can escape the first 10 minutes unscathed, I would expect to see them kind of pick up. Mid lane, it's really tough matchup for Fizz. The snare, the mobility and the poke of Lissandra is going to be really tough for him to deal with. So I would expect to see a lot of kills coming on the side of IDC in the mid lane, and a lot of contest in the bot lane between both teams.
Yeah, we saw UMBC have a little bit of trouble against Lissandra in round 1 of play, though this is a different Lissandra. We'll see how Iziani performs on her. Of course, if Fizz can survive, can get a little bit of roam and pick up some kills for himself, he's one of those champions that can quickly snowball out of control. And again, Lissandra also in the same situation though. It's right there. Whoever gets their first roam on could end up with a quick advantage.
So just a quick identifying of win factors. I do think that the blue team definitely has more of a team fight composition set up, both with the hard engage and hard disengage. So I would expect for them to try and maybe do a 4-1 split push, or just all on 5v5, try to go for that and force those fights, because all in all they do have a much stronger team fight potential. Purple team is definitely more pick focused, and as you've already mentioned, poke as well, between the Sonic Wave from the Lee Sin, and then the it's not True Shot Barrage. What's the Q for Ezreal called?
That's a very good question. Let's take a quick look at this Ezreal kit.
Mystic Shot, that's right.
Indeed, the Q is Mystic Shot.
And then the saplings on top of it as well. So I would expect to see a lot of poke and picks for them. They're definitely going to have to use wards to their advantage and basically win map presence.
Indeed, if we get past the 35-40 minute mark, I suspect things will be going in favor of the blue team. They just have so much potential to make things stick between the Vi, the Nasus, and then the Nami ult for CC, as well as Lissandra being able to lock those champions down. Going to see some hard engagements there if they're going to be in 5 versus 5 situations.
So, what do you think of skins? We definitely have a few similar skins, as you see the 2 Debonair skins, but who do you think wins the skin war here, both as a team and as an individual?
Well, I think the Pharaoh Nasus is a play for your affection.
It is.
On, we're going to get into game before I can even finish spotting out all the skins there. An extremely quick load for both of these teams. Seeing Fizz as the first summoner out of the base here. All of blue team making their way out at the same time here. Fairly quick buys coming out from both teams here, and a huge number of pings coming towards the river. Looking like we'll have some action into the bottom half of the map here.
Yeah, what I noticed was there was a bunch of different pings coming out from the blue team for a fairly defensive layout, but there was only one coming out from UMB. Is it BDB? UMDBD?
UMBC B team.
That's it. So it definitely looked like they were going to go for an invade.
And you're going to see these teams run into each other here. 4 versus 3 in the river. Lee Sin looking for a Q, will not connect onto the Nami though. Going to see blue side forced off of their engagement. Nasus and Lissandra not in range to assist the 3 other members of their team. However, a great disengagement by the Nami, Lucian, and the Vi. No first blood will be spilled at this time. Picking me up from the purple side behind the dragon pit. Lissandra making her way there, could get caught out. Carol Payne's coming out. Purple side is going to be staying on top of a blue team ward in that pixel bush. Again, IDC on the blue side, and UMBC B team on the purple side here. Looking like UMBC will be content to set up for their bottom lane buff. Taking a look at the map here, Lee Sin has actually begun to recall, cancels that recall though. begin. What do you think the Lee Sin is going for here? If he's actually going to end up recalling here, or will be starting with his blue buff. Alright, looks like he has actually cancelled that recall, making his way over onto the side of the map.
The sea holds fearsome creatures. And then
Just a quick reminder, I'm not actually looking at the stream, but don't forget to change your icons.
Indeed, I have. We've got Nasus versus Maokai in the top lane, Vi and Lee Sin in the jungles. Action already in the mid lane as Fizz hard engages onto Lissandra. He goes down almost half HP there. And of course, Lucian and Ezreal in the bottom lane with Nami and Janna for their supports. Gonna be some poke onto Janna as Lucian gets a nicely timed double shot. Both junglers there opted to start in the bottom half of their jungle. Vi onto her Wraith camp here, Lee Sin onto Wolf's Dragon now onto the map. Of course, 2.5 minutes into the game, not expecting either team to be setting up for a Dragon quite yet.
Something that's kind of interesting that I noticed is that both junglers opted to go for the secondary camp in the bottom jungle, as opposed to just going ahead and going towards the secondary camp in the other half of the jungle from which they started. It can slow down their jungle just a tad, but it's not something you see that I see very often, at least in my elo.
Interesting. When I jungle, I normally try and pick up the first two camps, but I can see the advantage of making your way directly onto the opposite side there. Though depending on the exact cooldown for smite, and again, it appears they've had no problem smiting down their second buff. It's going to be action into the mid lane. He's looking for a gank. Here comes in a little bit too late to be effective against Lissandra, though. Going to be action from Vi into the top lane as well. She connects onto Maokai. Starting up from the Maokai, and his flash will come through as well. A fairly successful gank for Vi into the top lane. Things coming out all across the bottom half of the jungle from the blue side, seeing that Lee Sin is in their jungle. And indeed, we see him on their Wraith camp, looking for an engagement onto Lissandra in the mid lane again. What do you think of Lee Sin's early game of play here? Going to see some strong counter jungling from this Lee Sin potentially.
sometimes you're the cat.
Lee Sin does have such high damage and burst damage early in comparison to Vi, who, while still a little bursty, is not near as effective as counter jungling as Lee Sin is. So seeing him run in and try to basically take away the CS that Vi is able to get is going to come to his advantage and slow down Vi just a tad.
Indeed, we're going to see her make her way onto the bottom half of the map, going to be quite unhappy that her camps have not respawned and have just been taken by Lee Sin. See how she responds. Going to be actually in the mid lane though, as Fizz picks up first blood. Vi looking to make it an exchange in the mid lane. Fizz down to about 50 HP here, ticking down from the red buff. Will she get one more attack? She will. Is going to be an exchange in the mid lane, though Fizz gets a little bit more gold for it. Also going to be action in the bottom lane as Lee Sin comes in for a gank for his team. However, the Lucian Nami pair survived that quite skillfully.
They actually did have to burn a heal there, so it is going to put them slightly behind because of the Lee Sin game.
And again, we're seeing Lee Sin do a fair amount of work for his team, despite sitting with only 13 farm and no kills or assists at this point. Taking a look at the goal scores, Vi actually has a 300 gold advantage over the Lee Sin, though she did pick up that first kill onto Fizz for her team.
What I find kind of surprising is that in the mid lane, they're both giving each other quite a wide berth. As you can see, the CS is a little bit low. Go ahead.
That's right, Lucian goes down in the bottom. We're going to see a teleport come through from Maokai as well. Nami could be in trouble here. Looking like Vi will get out safely, but Nami bursts her flash and still goes down as Ezreal picks up a double kill. Vi in the bottom here. Lissandra into the bottom lane as well. Janna will go down. A teleport coming out from the Nasus as well here. And something also interesting to note here is Nasus is out farming Maokai in the top lane currently. Lissandra takes a little poke here. Withering comes out from the Nasus onto Maokai. Hard engagement in the Vi. She takes two turrets here. Might go down, will go down. Maokai goes down in exchange for that play. Fizz in the mid lane looking for damage against that turret, begins taking turret hits though, as his minions have been killed. Probably his minions just getting back into turret range there, no longer taking those turret hits. Nasus looking to farm out in the bottom lane here. I apologize, begins to recall as I say that. I expect he would have been going for some pressure against that bottom lane turret. Taking a look at at the scoreboard here, we're seeing Ezreal actually up 10 farm over Lucian in 201 for his score. Not what I would have expected from an Ezreal-Lucian matchup. We're actually into the mid lane as Fizz troll pulls in onto Lissandra, but Vi comes in as well as an Ignite from Lissandra. Violet to continue the engagement, does not have her buffs. Ultimate comes out from the Fizz. Fizz down to about 300 HP. Lissandra not choosing to re-engage here. The kill goes on to Vi as she succeeds at taking down Fizz in the mid lane, despite Lissandra not continuing the engagement with her.
That's really smart play on the part of Vi, coming in right after the troll pole's down, knowing that there's about a 14-second cooldown on that troll pole. Basically makes it a very opportune time to come in and get your ganks in on the otherwise near ungankable Fizz.
Yeah, the mobility coming through from her Fizz, especially when the, what is that skill actually called? I can never remember. Playful Trickster, there we go. When Playful Trickster is available to him, as well as his dash away if he's pushed in past the minions, he can be almost uncatchable. Again, guys, we are seeing a pause come out here. Someone looking to get their internet connection issues fixed up there. Looking like they've had some problems with their Skype, potentially. Getting themselves back into their call, back into communication with their team. And of course, at this level of play, team communication can be completely vital. Looking at the scoreboard here, we are 7 minutes into the game. No turrets have yet to go down. And we are seeing roughly a 300 gold difference between these two teams. That 300 gold in favor of UMBC B team currently. Currently also a 4-4 kill score. Looking at the scoreboard, most of those kills for IDC have gone onto their jungler, with Lissandra also picking up one of the kills for her team. On the pro side, things are a little bit better spread out. We're seeing 2 kills onto Ezreal with 1 onto Fizz, and Lee Sin has also picked up 1 for himself there.
Now, what I'm noticing, if you hit the X button and it brings up the gold matchup, side by side, you are seeing Ezreal with 1,000 gold lead. This early in the game, that's really, really big. That's almost a Zill. I mean, just short of Zill. So, seeing that early advantage is really going to help IMBCB control that lane a lot better.
Taking a look at the itemization for that bottom lane pair, we're seeing Ezreal with a BF sword to Lucian's pickaxe, so that will give him a huge damage advantage at this point in the game. Of course, seeing Ezreal opt for a BF sword first is a little bit interesting. I find that most Ezreals tend to build onto Triforce for their first item, if I'm not mistaken.
They do. The reason he goes with the BF sword to start with, though, against the Lucian, who has such high burst, you really want to be able to counteract that and give him a reason not to show up. So basically, you put burst onto yourself as well. Like normally, you would expect to see a Sheen, but the early BF sword is going to make him think twice before he tries to trade.
Going to be a little bit of action into the top lane as well as back into the bottom lane. Maokai trying to engage onto Nasus, not being overly successful, though is slowly catching up as far as farm is concerned, and is not overly behind as far as KDA is concerned either. Maokai has gone down 1, so both of those are seeing with only 1 assist apiece. Looking across the map, we are seeing a huge farm fest, so Ezreal is going to get a little bit of poke onto Lucian, and Lissandra looks to engage onto Fizz. Actually falls off that engagement, content simply to try and get a little bit of a poke onto Fizz, leaving him below half HP in the lane.
Oh, if you see any action while I'm analyzing, feel free to cut me off. I'm just a lowly killer caster.
I find your input quite important normally, but I will do that should things get too out of hand.
You see Lee setting up for a gank here in the mid lane as well.
Lissandra could be overextended. A Q from Lee could be enough to secure a kill here onto Lissandra. Fizz looking for an ultimate as well, potentially. But they will not get any damage onto Lissandra as she makes her way back onto her turret. A little bit of a misplay potentially there by UMBC B team. Vi making her way out into the mid lane as well. Lee Sin will stick around. Could see a gank and counter gank being affected here. Vi will come in with her double S, locks down Fizz with her ultimate, but she goes down almost. I apologize, he goes down almost instantly. Thought the ultimate from the Fizz was enough to finish off the Vi, but it was Fizz going down in that exchange. Lee Sin not quite able to do any kind of work for his team there either. Goes on the bike, gets a little bit of damage, but is forced behind the turret, and Lissandra will continue the advancement. Ezreal and Janna looking to free farm in the bottom lane as well. Nami is there to defend the turret. Lucian has returned to lane as well. I apologize. Lucian was hiding under the Nami icon, has been there the entire time.
At this point, I know it's very close game gold-wise, but with the kills that come out onto the mid lane and the jungler, and not to mention the 11 CS lead in the top lane, I would look for things to really start to get a little sticky for the purple team here, just because of the amount of scaling that all these champions have.
That was a nice ultimate coming out from the Janna, keeping Ezreal fairly healthy as Lissandra roamed into the bottom lane. Ezreal with about 200 HP has popped a health ball, looking to get back into his turret. Will succeed at getting back to his turret. There are 3 members of the blue side looking to siege down onto that bottom lane outer turret. At the 10-minute mark here, they could be looking for their first turret of the game. So Lissandra makes her way back up towards the mid lane. Will run into Fizz as he looks to exit that lane. Engagement onto Fizz. Fizz troll pulls out, but it's not going to be enough. And Knight comes out from the Lissandra onto Fizz. Not going to be enough to finish off Fizz either. And also coming through onto Lissandra. Lee Sin looking to continue the engagement as Fizz makes his way to safety. Q comes out from Lee Sin, but does not connect him. Vi heads up towards the gank into the top lane. Maokai will be engaged onto Vi. And the board here, ultimate is not yet available, but Maokai's into it. He flashes away to safety. They did get the flash from the Maokai, but no gold for the kills. We'll see what kind of advantage Nasus can make that into in the top lane here. By actually going back towards that Tribush, she spots out a Vision Ward from UMBC B team. Again, guys, it is IBC on the blue side and UMBC B team on the purple side here this evening. See only a 300 gold difference between these two teams, a 1 kill difference, making up the majority of that gold, though Nasus is up about 20 farm over Maokai in the top lane. As we recall from the bottom lane, actually stops the recall as Lucian looks to engage on him. Janna makes her way back into the bottom here. Lucian could get caught out here. No Q comes through from the Janna though. We're going to see 4 members of the pro side into the bottom here. Lee Sin gets cut out by a Bellish, and then a Q comes out from the Janna connecting on Lucian. Lucian will flash away. Fizz engages under the turret. Lucian will go down to Fizz. Nami trying to continue the engagement onto Fizz. Fizz looking to come back in onto the Nami. When the 3 members of UMBC B team get zoned off by the Lissandra, but Janna and Lee Sin will continue the engagement onto the Lissandra, and Fizz will go down. Great play there as Lissandra wraps around onto Fizz with Nami and Divine. UMBC B team not willing to come in behind that bottom lane outer turret to assist him. He does go down, turning that into a 6-5 kill score, roughly a 600 gold difference here now in favor of IDC. Be a little bit of action in the top lane, though more of a wet noodle fight as Maokai and Nasus slug away on each other to almost no effect. Vi clearing out a Vision Ward around the Dragon Pit, will get spotted out here, can dash over that wall to safety though. Indeed, Vi dashes out, leaving Nami all by herself there. Going to see Nasus coming in with a teleport into the bottom. They will begin an engagement onto Dragon. Going to be a contested Dragon here. There is a side ward still around the pit. They have been spotted out here. Going to see teleport coming from Maokai. He could have made the walk, but teleport will give it away. We see a huge team fight right here. Maokai engaging onto Phoenix, onto the Nasus. A bit of a questionable choice to choose to focus onto the tank from the blue side. Going to cost Lee Sin his life as this fight continues. So Lissandra will go down into a poke from the Ezreal. Lucian gets a kill onto Maokai, but Lucian is extremely low here. Fizz not quite able to finish that off. Vi looking to engage onto Fizz. Fizz troll pulls towards the Vi, though, as Janna comes in from behind to assist him. Nami extremely low here, but under that turret. Nasus at about half HP, taking a bit of poke from the Ezreal. Janna takes 2 turrets as Fizz comes in under the turret. Troll pulls to escape the turret hits. Vi looking to re-engage onto Fizz. Fizz takes the turret and goes down. Janna takes the turret there with 50 HP remaining. A little bit of a throw there for UMBC's B team, going full ham under that bottom lane outer turret.
Yeah, a lot of action coming out right there.
That was a crazy fight. I think we had only 2 kills for both sides there, though.
Yeah, I would expect to see a little bit more focus coming out, probably a change of focus coming out for UMBCB on how they go about their team fights when the team fights actually do happen. I feel like focusing the tank first was a bit of a mistake.
The fight has actually allowed them to pick up a dragon for UMBCB team. That was a successful contest, as IDC had tried to set up for it. UMBC came in to contest it. They had ended up going 2 for 2, and then as the fight disengaged, UMBC went back in, and Lee Sin and Ezreal were able to pick up the dragon for themselves there. They have actually secured a 500 gold lead for their team once again. Gonna see a little bit of action in the top lane as Maokai through the sapling on the Nasus, but the Nasus will not be connected from the sapling. Jan looking to effect vision control in the bottom lane here, drops the sight ward on top of a blue team sight ward into that pixel bush. Lucian and Nami looking to engage onto Ezreal in the bottom lane zone. Then Janna off of the lane. Ward comes out from the Nami. Janna has once again been spotted out. Lee Sin and Ezreal will both recall. Lucian could actually stop the recall from the Ezreal, but will not manage to do so.
Now, something I did want to point out is that up in the top lane, Nasus and his Q farm is getting quite large. He has almost 300 extra on his Q now. So meanwhile, on the top lane, we did see Vi come in for a successful gank. This is the first gank that I have successfully pulled off against Maokai, with the exception of, well, excluding the burning of flashes, of course. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, we are seeing a huge fight. Fizz is come down, but Lucian does go down. He was going after the Janna. Janna barely escaped. She does get hit with a bubble, though, and with an enemy blow, so she does go down as well. So double kill coming out on the Fizz, and if IDC is not careful, Fizz can definitely become a reckoning force for UMBCB. So we do see a tower exchange possibly going to happen here, the top lane for IDC, and then of course UMBCB taking the bottom lane as well.
I apologize, Pharaoh. I managed to mute my microphone, was wondering what was going on there.
It's okay.
We're seeing that gank from the top lane for Vi turned into not only a first level, but a second level turret for her and Nasus. Going to see now a 4-1 turret score in favor of IDC here. Only moments ago, we were no turrets off the map, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, just moments ago, IDC is really picking up a lot of turrets within those exchanges.
Yeah, that could have been the results of Maokai going down to the 2 bruisers in the top lane. The Q stack on the Nasus, fairly effective at taking turrets down as well. So seeing him manage to out-farm Maokai, though Maokai has almost caught up in farm to the Nasus at this point in the game, that might be a little bit too late.
Yeah, the big thing about Nasus is that he scales infinitely. So basically, just being even with him in CS is probably not good for you.
Also, we saw Ezreal go down there in the bottom lane 2 in advance from the Lucian Nami pair. Both those bottom lane outer turrets have been removed, so the summoners being around the midpoint of that lane could have been a bit of an overextension for the Ezreal being by himself there. A pause will come out here from the purple side this time. I believe the first pause was a blue team pause as they look to get some Skype connection issues corrected. Seeing Lee Sin unfortunately disconnect from this game, Janna disconnecting as well, confirming the reports of 2 members disconnecting from the purple side. That is going to be an unfortunate situation for UMBCB team to be in currently. Lee Sin manages to reconnect here though. Gonna see if Janna gets herself back into the game.
Something I've noticed is that we do see 3 lenses on the team for IDC, which is going to be really important and help them quite a bit to control map awareness and of course presence as well, as opposed to only 2 on UMBCB.
Indeed, we're seeing Lissandra with her sweeper purchase here already, wondering if Fizz will fairly soon be swapping out for his sweeper as well. Looking at the current vision control of the map, looks like UMBC has 2 wards placed on their side of the jungle, as well as a sight ward into the top half of the river. IDC has only 1 vision ward on their side of the map that I can see no sight wards currently placed. Of course, as I said, the pause timer will begin to tick down. Seeing Fizz set up near the Nami, could be engaging here, will engage onto Nami. She's coming into range to contest against the Fizz, but Nami goes down a little bit too soon there. Also coming out from the Fizz, Lucian goes down as well. That will be a double kill. Lissandra named to the bottom lane with help from the Violet engage onto Fizz here. Fizz down about 400 control pulls to safety though. Lee Sin and Janna looking to keep him alive. Lissandra and Vi looking to chase them down, though. Vi will dash and connects onto the Janna. Janna into a 300 HP as this fight continues. Lee Sin and the minions. The minions actually force Vi off of her assault there. Lissandra goes full ham, though. Ezreal could be in trouble here. Lissandra, however, does go down first. Ezreal still with half HP remaining. Lee Sin and Ezreal looking to continue the fight back into the bottom lane here. Chasing down onto Vi. Maokai may be enough to lock her up, slow her down, and get them back into range. Janna being fairly brave here coming back in this match with only 300 HP remaining.
Now, while I did fairly like the roam from Maokai there, it did still open up for Nasus to continue his farming frenzy. You see him increase another 2 waves above Maokai again, and that's, since he's free, it's probably a 2 Q waves, or 2 waves worth of Q farm.
Yeah, it's going to translate to a fair advantage for the Nasus, though the mid lane outer turret will go down in favor of UMBC. B team. Another pause will come out this time from the blue side. And as Pharaoh was just saying, Nasus was left alone in the top lane for at least 2 waves of farm. And if those of you who are familiar with Nasus, that is never a good choice. Leaving Nasus alone, he will sit there, he will farm, he will Q stack, and he will come back ever stronger than before. And seeing Nasus sitting 1-0-3 so far, he is the only summoner in the game remaining at this time who has not yet died. So the Nasus is doing fairly well. Looking at the farmers, he actually has best farm in the game, out farming the purple side Ezreal, who has the best farm for the purple side team.
Yeah, that's actually kind of surprising. Generally, you see the most farm coming out from the bottom lane or the mid lane sometimes, depending if there's a Mordekaiser or another similar champion that has a lot of wave clear. They'll go and take the wraiths. But in the top lane, that means your other lanes aren't doing what they're supposed to, or you're a rock star, Vinex.
Yeah, we saw Nasus get zoned against his turret while Maokai wasn't doing the greatest job potentially of managing his last hits. So seeing the Nasus with a slight farm advantage over everybody in the game, not completely unexpected the way things have been playing out so far, though Ezreal, at least in my opinion, has been doing very well for a team. He is sitting at 4-1-4 as far as his KDA goes. He will be sitting at 8, which is a solid number for anybody's KDA. With about 122 farm in the game, he's 10 farm over the Lucian. So Nasus just managing to get last hits a little bit more effectively than everybody else, potentially not worrying so much about the harassment from Maokai. And as we see the top lane, we are seeing him not worry at all about harassment from the Maokai. He is chunking Maokai down fairly effectively without taking too much of a punishment for it. The wet noodle fight in the top lane will continue as Nasus actually falls off of the Maokai. Continues to farm though. Blue side setting up for a dragon play, potentially dragon not on the map for another 30 seconds, so they will fall off of that play as they affect vision control around the dragon pit. Lee Sin lands a Q onto Vi. They will be aware that they are waiting in an ambush in the tri-bush. They did not have vision control in that bush, so potentially a blindly thrown Q from the Lee Sin, spotting them out, keeping purple team safe through that potential engagement.
Now, with Dragon coming up, I would expect to see a huge fight, just like we did last time over the Dragon. A little bit back and forth over this blue buff coming up here. They do, in fact, no, they don't secure the buff. It goes onto the Lissandra. A little bit of an early smite from Lee Sin. Basically moves the buff from their side to the blue team.
That's going to be an unfortunate play for UMBC, handing blue buff over to Lissandra, who's already doing fairly well for Team Lee Sin, however, goes down to an advancement from the Vi. Again, another bit of a misplay from UMBC. They could be in trouble here. Nasus into the bottom lane here. Has about 3,000 HP, will begin to face tank the turret. Maokai continuing to engage onto them. Ultimate comes out from the Ezreal, connecting onto all 5 members from IDC. A nicely placed ultimate from Ezreal, though a little bit early, and he's looking to secure kills with it.
However, by taking them down to half health, it does make the dragon debatable again as to who can pick it up, even with the lack of their jungle.
We're seeing some blue side pings coming onto the dragon, but they're not able to engage us without purple side pursuing onto them. We're going to see Fizz, Maokai, and Janna continue this contest around the dragon pit. The Nass server is quite strong and maybe all they need to secure this dragon will go down in favor of the blue side. Lucian takes a huge amount of their ultimate comes out from the Nami, but Lucian will go down as Fizz goes full hand. Positive like Lissandra picks up the kill onto the Fizz, but as Lissandra will go down as Ezreal picks up the kill as well. Nass continues to try and chunk down Summoners, has about 500 HP remaining. Takes almost half of Ezreal HP out with 1 Q, but Ezreal picks up the double kill. Going to be a 3-for-1 trade in favor of UMBC team. The Dragon did go down to IDC on the blue side.
I would expect them to follow this up with the second tier mid turret though, which will pretty well negate the gold they would have gotten from the Dragon.
You know, it's kind of ironic. We've seen 2 disconnects from the purple side, but the blue side's name is IDC. Wondering how they've solved their connection issues. Indeed, we're seeing that mid lane inner turret go down after the successful play from UMBC as Pharaoh predicted. Also a blue buff steal coming through here.
And I think that's almost reciprocal because the IDC did steal UMBCB's blue buff earlier as well.
Picking up that blue buff will put them back onto the map there as far as the Protoss are concerned. Comes out from the Lucian, but it's not going to be able to save that top lane outer turret as UMBC is successful taking down their 4th turret of the game. They've actually evened out the turret score here. They are down by 1 kill, but they have evened out the gold score as well. Now picking up a 100 gold advantage. Ultimate out from the Vine. Lee Sin will go down there. And the gold advantage back over onto IDC, up now by 600 gold over UMBC. Lee Sin apparently worth a fair amount right there. And they're looking to clear out a vision ward from the purple side. Lissandra opts to the last, hit it away from it though, taking that gold away from the support. I find that it's respect to give the gold over on the support when they're clearing out the wards, but if the carry needs it, the carry needs it, I suppose.
Yeah, as a support main player myself, I kind of find myself torn. I'm like, that's my gold, I've earned it. And then they take it, I'm like, thanks, you just got, I guess what extra CS can't hurt.
I know, right? It's like, I get 30 gold every once in a while, and you get a wave of minions every 30 seconds. But take your 30 gold, it's okay. Some action into the bottom lane here. Nass potentially overextending. You're going to see him in a 3 versus 1, 3 versus 2 as Vi comes in. He's getting fairly low in this fight. Vi will continue to go full hand. Gets blasted back by a He falls in with the Q, but dashes back out of that fight. Going to be a 4 versus 4 fight. You're also coming out from the Din. A blast will send onto the opposite side of their team. Could be a little bit of a misplay by Lissandra. Yes, Lissandra will get the kill onto Lee Sin. So bringing Lissandra into that position was not a great choice. The Janna also going down here. Here comes out from the Lissandra. Actually gets extremely low in this advantage. Damage coming out from the Lucian has Ezreal and Maokai look to escape with the Blitz. Ezreal will go down and Maokai escapes with about 50 HP remaining. Lucian looking to proxy farm, gets engaged onto by the Fizz and goes down in just 1 shot.
Just a reminder, that all started as a 3 versus 1 onto Nasus. So, just kind of shows you how much, how big Nasus can really become so quickly if you just let him farm a little bit.
Yeah, if you have one of those sustained top laners, especially a tank top laner, if you can let them engage 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3, and bait your opponents a little bit like that. We saw him fairly low, but fairly confident he wasn't going down. The rest of his team got in range and actually turned that into their favor, despite it looking like Purple Side had a great play set out there.
Now, looking at the gold matchup, at least at the very top, we are seeing a 2.2 or 2.1 gold favor in favor of IDC. I really at this point start to worry for UMBCB, simply because they're really a middle game team. The only person who scales extremely well into late game is Fizz, and that's because he can burst carries. Just about everybody on the side of IDC scales well, with the exception of Lucian, and even him somewhat decent. So I'd be a little bit worried at this point if I was on UMBCB's side.
Yeah, it seems like late game is the game for tanks, and with both Nasus and Vi on the blue side, as well as the damage from Lissandra and the Lucian, as we've heard, will carry fairly well into the late game. Looks like it will be mainly the Fizz and Maokai to contest as we approach the 30-40 minute marks, hoping that Fizz and Ezreal can maintain their damage advantages here. At the direct gold, Ezreal actually doing fairly well for himself with 10,000 gold per, has the best gold in the game. Team action from Nasus onto Maokai. He's going to be free farming in this top lane as Maokai is forced off that engagement by Lissandra into the top lane as well, though. Maokai going to engage onto Lissandra and Janna going to come in from the side. Fizz also coming into this fight, going to be a 3 versus 3 fight. Nasus is back into it, though. Going to make it a 5 versus 4 as 5 versus 5 actually, as everybody comes in from behind. It's almost coming out on Lee Sin dead, but half a here because he will get keeping it from this, trying to keep it safe, but he does go down. Going to see Zhonya come out from the Lissandra, and is also going down in the full 0 exchange so far. Nasus still with full HP, though a quarter of his mana. You see a ward over that wall into the purple side base. Nasus begins face tanking the turret. Seeing one Q come out onto it. Nasus takes about 5 turrets there. She'll get him down to half. Lissandra will go down as she gets a little bit too far under that purple side turret. Engage onto by the Ezreal and the Maokai. When see Maokai continue to engage with Lucian, could go down, does go down to the Ezreal again. Ezreal doing very well for his team, sitting at 8-2 with 183 farm. Now has the best farm in the game as he has picked up a 2 CS lead over the Nasus. Nasus finally being out-farmed by somebody in this matchup. Comes out from the Ezreal, connects only onto Nami there, but comes out from the Nami onto the Maokai. Nice pulse fire, a nice shift from the Ezreal, followed up by a poke. Janna could get something here, but will not connect the Q onto Nami. Nami does go down, though, actually, to the Janna for an auto attack, as that follows up the poke coming in from the Ezreal. A great pursuit there by UMBC will get the Nami down. UMBC looks it up for a Baron play. I believe this is going to be the first Baron of the game. A teleport coming out onto a site for a vision ward from the Nasus, and 4 versus 1, 5 versus 1 situation. Begins to run towards his team, down about a quarter of his HP, turns back around onto that as his team will get hugged out from the Lucian. Is going to go full ham, will like David's like Lee Sin goes down first. Zhonya's comes out from the Fizz, but Fizz will indeed go down a double kill for the Lissandra.
And that sets up IDC perfectly for a Baron here. With both the huge damage dealer Fizz going down, as well as the jungler for UMBCB, I would expect to see Baron.
Looks like they're actually going to set up for a Dragon play, which is a little bit of a questionable choice for them. Though I find that the most throws we see in any tournament games happen around that Dragon pit, so they could be a little bit reluctant to set up for it this early in the game. Though that Nasus has so much HP despite sitting at half health, I feel he could have tanked that quite successfully for his team. Ezreal already with his red buff, setting up for another red buff here.
There ain't no buff like the double red buff.
If only they stacked.
Exactly.
Just running around and pick up all the buffs.
Actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea, as hard as it would be to actually pick up all the buffs. If you could double stack all of them, I don't know. It would be interesting to see what all would be possible.
It would definitely change the jungle mechanics around a little bit.
Most definitely.
Nasus all by himself against Fizz, not willing to go in there. I feel like Nasus could chunk the Fizz down, though Fizz has a huge burst right now. Going to see another pause come out from the blue side. Again, with the name IDC, maybe they're actually going to have a disconnect this time. Of course, I should never really be hoping for someone to have a disconnection, so hopefully that's not the situation here tonight.
Just looking at Fizz's items, and granted I'm no gold player, but I would have thought that it would be significantly better for Fizz to pick up a Deathfire Grasp or even a Rabidance over a Zhonya's Hourglass first.
Starting with Rabadon always seems like a questionable item, as it seems, well, it scales better with having previous AP, so starting Zhonya's is, I mean, what I do on most AP mid laners, but having the Zhonya's Lichbane as opposed to the Deathfire Grasp, as you mentioned, is an interesting choice there, though it does give him a slight mana advantage.
I suppose that's true. Just with his burst, I would have preferred to see a Deathfire, personally.
Yeah, and we are seeing Lissandra with that Deathfire and the Zhonya's. Again, the Zhonya's Deathfire, not a bad start. If they follow that up with their Randuin's, I mean, not a Randuin's, a Rabadons, they'd be in great shape for AP. Though getting all 3 of those needlessly large rod items is a little bit of a heavy build as far as gold is concerned.
Yeah, you're looking at about almost just under 10,000 gold to complete all 3 of those items.
Alright, and the pause timer will be ticking down here. Again, yes, we are in the semi-finals matchup here for Knoxville Gaming's semi-pro tournament. Currently watching IDC on the blue side, facing off against UMBC B team on the purple side here. Looking at a 23-20 kill score, 4 turrets to 4. Roughly a 4,000 gold advantage at this point for the blue side. Again, IDC on the blue side, UMBC on the purple side. Lysandra going to engage onto the Maokai. Maokai down to about half his HP here. They actually into the bottom lane, as well as Nasus looks for a turret. 3 other members of the blue side are in the bottom lane. 3 defenders from the purple. I think that a 4th defender. The turret does go down to the Nasus. Also comes out from the Nami. He's getting fairly low here as Fizz tries to continue the engagement. I apologize, Sin tries to continue the engagement there. Sin will go down. Maokai goes down to the Lysandra in the top lane as well. Going to be a 2-4-2 trade as Lucian and Vi also go down into the bottom lane. Nasus is still alive and healthy. Continuing engagement onto the Ezreal Janvier. May have been knocked more than he could chew though, as Ezreal picks up a double kill onto Nasus. Looking for a kill onto Nami as well. Pokes her down to about 300 HP. Pokes her down to a 200 HP even after her heal. And she's taken down to the red buff, and she goes down to one more auto attack. Excited Soup on Ezreal doing very well for his team so far, sitting at 11-2 so far this evening.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised to see how well he was able to chunk down Nasus. Nasus does only have a Randuin's. However, with only the Yumu's Ghostblade on Ezreal, I wouldn't think that he'd be able to deal that much damage against the Nasus.
I think his Lord may have been playing a huge factor into that one. The percentage damage.
That's true. And it's
percentage, right?
Yes, by current health on all auto attacks.
My
But,
ADC items aren't as up to par as they could be.
Something that's also a little different is he doesn't have a Trinity Force, and he doesn't have a Last Whisper yet either. You generally see those fairly early on a Ezreal.
Yeah, we're seeing a very heavy AD build coming out onto Ezreal as well as onto Lucian. Neither of those summoners opting for the Triforce, and both of them being champions we can see do fairly well with the Triforce or blue builds.
Yeah, so it's a little different to me. Maybe at the higher end builds change a little bit based on skill level and mechanics, but I don't know. It's different for me as well.
Indeed, seeing Ezreal with now a Last Whisper has completed his 4th item in this game, has roughly 15,000 gold. I apologize, 14,000 gold. Overestimating a little bit where he's gotten to, but still an impressive gold score onto that Ezreal in this matchup. Has the most gold of any summoner currently. He's actually in from the Vi, from Fizz onto the Vi. Sandra will get locked down. There's going to be a huge ult coming out from the Nami, ult coming out from the Janna as well to counter the Nami ult. It's going to be well played by the Janna, keeping all members of her team alive through that engagement from IDC. Again, guys, it is IDC on the blue side and UMBC on the purple side.
The Janna ults did actually stop all of the ults, with the exception of Nasus, into that fight.
Fizz takes a huge amount of nice Q from the Nasus. Nasus looking for another Q onto Ezreal here, but Ezreal chunks him down really quickly. Maokai looking to continue this engagement here. If he can stick onto one of those squishy champions, they can pick up another kill here potentially. Lee getting fairly low to it. Maokai will manage to get it. Zhonya's comes out from the Lysandra. Vi with 300 feet looking to get her way to safety. Lucian goes down to Ezreal. Ezreal picks up his second kill. The nice ult comes out from the Ezreal, but does not connect to Lysandra as she jukes herself to safety. Ezreal takes a turret hit there as he looks to continue this engagement. Fizz coming back into this fight. We've seen no members from UMBC go down there, though 3 of them have gotten extremely low. Going to be a 2-for-0 trade there, and that gets them their first inhibitor turret of the game. Going to now be a 5-for-5 turret score.
And with the acquisition of that inhibitor turret, it really does open up a lot of options for them. Now they can split push much more effectively, because that threat of an open inhibitor will always be there throughout the rest of the game.
Indeed, and despite us feeling that IDC has the better late-game team composition, at the 35-minute mark here, we're seeing UMBC do very well for themselves.
Yeah, something I really noticed in that last team fight was that there wasn't a whole lot of focus going on from the blue team. It's thus far with the team fights, we've seen Nasus come in and say, "I'm big, I'm bad, I'm gonna Q you," and Ezreal kind of chunking him down. While the rest of his team seems to try to kite back and forth as they're just trying to deal damage. And with the mobility that UMBCB has, it's really difficult for them to kite. So I kind of feel like that's the reason they're falling behind in these last few team fights.
The Pro side definitely has a little bit of a mobility advantage over the blue team, with the Ezreal, Fizz, and Lee Sin all able to gap close extremely effectively. Maokai actually able to gap close fairly well himself. To engage onto a Dragon here, which could go down uncontested. Taking a look at the gold scores, that Dragon will give them a slight advantage here in this matchup. Now with roughly a 1,000 gold lead over IDC, UMBC is looking to make another play here. Pink's coming out onto that blue side inhibitor. UMBC looking for their first inhibitor of the game. Recall will come out from Lissandra. Will they get there in time? Lion now also coming in from the side. We're going to see 5 members of UMBC make their way to the inhibitor. Inhibitor gets down at 4 of his half of his HP. Kali comes out from the Lucian, but the inhibitor will go down. Getting extremely low here. It's 4 versus 1. We're going to go down, but 4 of the remainder upper team gets there. Nami and Lucian looking at the state. Sandra potentially overextending here as well. Nasus will come in and try and tank forward. We've seen that will not get focused at all through this fight. We get a couple of Qs coming out. We'll get 1 Q onto the Fizz. Going to be a huge shutdown there. Onto the Sandra. Going to be 4 kills for 0 in favor of UMBC. Nasus is huge. Nasus is tanky. And turrets are strong, but I don't think Nasus will be enough to hold this up. I think this is going to be the game for UMBC.
Yeah, there was a little bit of misdirection going on the part of the UMBCB. As you saw when this engage happened on the inhibitor, IDC was headed up towards Baron. That's where they thought they were, and it was simply because of lack of wards that they weren't really able to note where UMBCB were. And that really ultimately set up the end of the game here.
Yeah, by the end of the game, we were definitely seeing vision control being affected by UMBC there. IDC with not very many wards at the end. With that, of course, we're going to be heading into our finals matchup, going to be Vicarious on the blue side, and they'll be facing off against UMBC B team on the purple side. Looking for a member from UMBC, let them know to invite us when ready. And will you be joining me for the finals matchup as well this evening, Pharaoh?
No, I've actually had something come up. I'm actually going to have to take off. But I do appreciate the opportunity to cast with you for the semifinals here.
Not a problem. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining us for the semifinals matchup this evening.
Yep, I appreciate the opportunity. So have a good time, guys. Thank you.
Again, guys, heading into the finals matchup here this evening, going to be Vicarious on the blue side. And they're going to be facing off against UMBC B team. Looking to get invites sent out to the purple side here. Again, UMBC B team really playing on the purple side for the second, if not the third time this evening. Starting at the bottom of the bottom matchup. Means you're going to be playing purple all the way through if you make it up to the finals. Starting at that very bottom position, you only have your way up in the pyramid. Of course, starting in the top of the A position, Versita, had they won that round 1 game and progressed through the finals, would have played blue the entire way through. Bit of an interesting thing we've not really considered in the past. Apparently we started the game in the wrong game mode. Any questions about it? Was a game we just played a semi-pro game? Indeed, we are in a semi-pro tournament currently. You can get that bracket posted back into Twitch chat for you guys. Apologize, it hasn't been posted for a little while. Again, we're heading into the finals matchup this evening. Had a fairly small tournament with only 8 teams participating tonight, meaning that half of the teams were guaranteed some sort of prizing. Again, winning 1 game got you into the semifinals. Whether you won or lost your semifinals game, you have 1 more game to play. The winners going into the finals matchup, the losers going into the bronze matchup. Of course, the finals matchup determining the first and second place teams. The bronze match determining the third and fourth place teams. Seeing summoners from UMBC make their way into the lobby here. Only 3 members from Vicarious on this. I apologize. 4 members from Vicarious now into the lobby. Seeming like one of them was on the side of the purple team momentarily. Waiting on a couple more summoners to get into this matchup, and then it'll be underway for our finals matchup for Not So Stock Gaming's semi-pro tournament this evening. Just going over the lobby chat there, Hindered saying that they need to get their main mid back into the game, getting rid of a sub who's played their first 2 games. As this is the finals matchup, that's a little bit mean for their sub, as the players who play in the finals matchup are the players who receive the prizing for the evening. Of course, if you're a good team, a team of friends, even if you don't receive prizing, if you did participate, I expect that somebody would be sending you a gift to say thank you for getting us this far. We couldn't have won our prizing without you. Waiting on just one more member to come up into this lobby, and then we'll be underway for our finals matchup this evening. May also have Bio rejoining me for this finals matchup. Not quite sure yet. Looking to get him into the lobby here potentially. Just waiting on the final word from him whether he will be joining us for this finals matchup. Of course, if we get into champion selection before I hear back, he can always spectate me, and then I can make that call happen, and we can do things as per normal anyways. And that 10 summoner will come into lobby here. Again, guys, this is going to be a Not So Stock Gaming semi-pro finals matchup. All summoners are required to be between Gold 5 and Diamond 1. Looking at the current ranks of the summoners I'm seeing in the lobby, mainly Diamond tier summoners with 1 or 2 Platinums on both teams. Pro side with 2 Platinums, so both of those being Platinum 1 and Platinum 2 are well on their way towards Diamond. Blue side, of course, with a Platinum 1 summoner as well, on his way towards Diamond. Getting reports in the all chat that Purple Side has actually opted to play with their substitute who played their first couple of matchups with them, opting not to grab their main mid laner. Hopefully that doesn't affect their gameplay too much coming into this finals matchup. We've seen them do fairly well so far tonight, despite not having their main roster, and they will continue to field that one non-core summoner into the mid lane. He's done fairly well for their team, and will be getting at least the 2nd place prizing, even if they lose this matchup. Of course, if they win, they'll get the 1st place prize, which is 3,200 RP and a Triumphant Rise skin for each summoner on the team. Again, guys, heading into the finals matchup here. We've actually lost 1 summoner, looking to get them back into the lobby here potentially. Also questions of, is the finals best of 1? Yes, the rules do state currently that all matches are single elimination, so even in the finals, it's 1 win or 1 loss. Of course, semifinals make that a little bit of a gray area, as you do, well, it's still single elimination. You lose the semifinals, you've lost that semifinals matchup, but you still get the bronze match, so you've lost. You don't get a second chance to play the semis match, but you still get 1 more match to play in order to figure out exactly what prize package you'll be getting. Looking like we're into the lobby with all 10 summoners now in the lobby as well. Ready question has come out from the blue side, waiting on purple team now. Again, guys, this is going to be the finals matchup. Going to be Vicarious on the blue side, who has won all the way from round 1. Of course, round 1 was only 2 matches ago, as well as UMBC on the purple side, again winning all the way from round 1. Both these teams on a 2-game win streak. Not quite as impressive as the 4 and 5 game win streaks that the larger tournaments require to get into this finals matchup, but still, finals is finals. These guys will be getting some sort of prizing this evening. 1 team with that 1st place prize package, 1 team with the 2nd place prize package. Seeing Zilean as the first ban here from Vicarious, followed up by a Rumble ban from UMBC, and a Rise ban coming out from Vicarious as well. I apologize. I say Zillion or Rise for their first ban. They were both showing when I began to comment. Again, it was Zillion and Rise banned out by Vicarious, followed up by a Gnar ban from UMBC, and Kha'Zix rounds things out for Vicarious here this evening. So it's going to be Zillion, Rise, and Kha'Zix banned out by the blue team. Rumble and Gnar so far banned out by the purple side. Waiting on one more ban from UMBC. It will be a Braum ban. So we're seeing no ADCs banned out in this matchup. Both Tristana and Lucian as well as Corki are going to be available for both teams to play. Have a complete free pick for their bottom lane. Also seeing only Braum as the support bans. Lee Sin will get first picked here potentially by Vicarious. Lee Sin still being hovered over here by Akuro, will get locked in. Excited Soup insta-locking the Janna as well as, Excited Sloop insta-locking the Lucian. And Andurge quickly locking in Janna behind him for that Lucian-Janna bottom lane pair. Panic Jolt in. King of Mid looking to pick up their champions here. King of Mid hovering over a Thresh pick currently. Not quite sure why my computer says it's 6 o'clock. Weird computer. Weird. It somehow lost 3 hours of time in the last week. Thresh will get locked in by King of Min, and Panic Jolt begins to hover over a Jarvan 4. Waiting to see if that will get locked in this evening. Again, guys, this is going to be our finals matchup. Should J4 get locked in and Lee Sin is already showing, that would be an interesting choice. Maybe we would have a Lee Sin in one of the lanes, be that top or mid. Or maybe Lee Sin support with Thresh in a solo lane tonight. We'll see what these guys have in store for us. J4 and Lee Sin will both get locked in for the blue side. Once again, it is Vicarious on the blue team and UMBC on the purple team. UMBC's Hikaru Shindu will lock in a Maokai, waiting on Exorcist 999 to select his champion. A little bit of synergy slowly being built up here. We've seen Maokai do fairly well for UMBC in previous matches. Lucian and Janna also played fairly skillfully by their team. Amumu being hovered over now by Exorcist 999. We have not seen Amumu played by UMBC yet in this tournament. I cannot recall if we've seen them play Amumu in previous events, but the Amumu will get locked in. Bit of an interesting jungle choice here for the purple team. Amumu into a Lee Sin. Lee Sin with the, I apologize, potentially not Lee Sin as younger. The J4 is showing in Fiora being hovered over here now, meaning Fiora would be their top laner if it did get locked in. Also showing over the teleport, switching out for Ahri and then a Jace. Jolly Roger not quite sure what he's going to be picking here, showing over a Karma hover now. An interesting choice of champion selections. We'll see what ends up getting locked in. A third jungler being hovered over. Leading an ADC and potentially a mid pick here. The Corki and Orianna could be finalized. We'll see what they choose to go for here, meaning that Lee Sin would be in the top lane, or J4 would be in the top lane. Meaning we'll have Lee Sin or J4 as the jungler for the blue side. Zed will be insta-locked by Pack Mushroom. Suspect that will be the mid laner here for UMBC. Alright, so we have a Lucian Janna bottom lane pair for UMBC. Zed as their mid laner, Maokai in the top lane, and Amumu for the jungle. A decent amount of tank coming out from UMBC into this matchup, as well as a fair amount of damage between the Lucian and the Zed. Janna going to be doing as much utility as she can for her team as well. Janna, one of those great support champions. On the blue side, we have a Corki Thresh bottom lane pair, with Orianna in the mid lane and Jarvan 4 as their top laner. Have not seen Jarvan 4 played in the top lane recently that I can recall, though I've seen it done in the past to varying degrees of success. Lee Sin will be the jungler for Vicarious. Again, guys, is going to be Vicarious on the blue side, and they are facing off against UMBC B team on the purple side. With that, we're going to be into the 3-minute spectator delay period, and I'm going to actually run off for those 2 to 3 minutes, refill my water, run to the washroom, and come back to shoutcast the finals matchup for everybody. So bear with us through a few minutes of silence. We are heading into our finals match for Not So Stock Gaming's Semi-Pro Bracket Tournament. This is Dark Corpse, and I shall return.
Rift.
Thanks for that, guys. Apparently the game started up behind my browser, and I was a little bit slower getting back than expected. I think we're going to have Bio joining us momentarily here.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Bio, have you joined us? I think the call is still active. No response. Oh no. I've seen picks come out from both sides here. Both sides set up for potential invades. Recall being played with by the Lee Sin once again coming into this matchup. Of course, it was a different Lee Sin we saw doing this during the last game. Lee Sin with their recall taunts. I do apologize for popping Skype up momentarily here. I am seeing him in the call. Alright, and there's Bio to join us. Did you manage to spec us? You got into the game alright?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm at a minute 45.
Perfect. That's exactly where we're at here. Buff should be back up onto, well, not back up, but up onto the map in about 5 seconds here. Alright, both sides have taken their first buffs here. Amumu opting to start on his blue is a great choice for Amumu as he is extremely blue dependent. Lee Sin starting with his red buff there. I'm gonna report him a little bit quiet in Twitch chat. If you still can't hear me, let me know. Bit of an exchange in the bottom lane. Janelle trying to get as much gold as she possibly can by poking down onto the Thresh with her Spell Thief item. Taking a look at the map here. Forget the name of that. Indeed, Spell Thief's Edge. My apologies, folks. Lucian looking for action against both Corki and the Thresh in the bottom lane there.
A summoner has disconnected.
Getting reports that I've somehow muted, but I think we are good here. And we're going to have a pause coming out as we've seen a disconnect be affected by Dark Horse on the Thresh from the blue side. Also Zed disconnecting from the purple side here. Both sides with a disconnect. I apologize, Zed actually said BRB before his disconnection there. Looking like he is just getting things reset to ensure he has no issues as we continue this matchup. Again, guys, we are into the finals matchup for tonight's tournament. This is a Not So Stock Gaming, a semi-pro event. Indeed, we're seeing Zed reconnect with no issues, still waiting on a Thresh to come back into this matchup. Again, the finals matchup contestants are Vicarious on the blue side and UMBC B team on the purple side. In order to compete in the semi-pro tournaments, you must be ranked between Gold 5 and Diamond 1 in the solo queue. Mainly Diamond-rated summoners in this matchup with a couple of Platinum tier summoners sprinkled in between. And Thresh will reconnect into this game. We're going to be back underway momentarily. Taking a look at the score, minions have just come out onto the map. Looking like we've had 2 waves go through so far. Less than a 100 gold difference between these two teams, though looking at the farm for every summoner, Orianna has picked up 3 more CS than the Zed, managing to get all 12 of her first 2 waves. Apologies, the third wave's actually reached the lane, so she may have picked up some from that third wave, making it look like she got all the minions from those first 2 waves. Either way, still a fairly impressive start for the Orianna. J4 not too far behind that himself. The pause timer has ticked down here. We are back into play. Lee Sin going for counter jungle against the Mumu. They will connect at the red buff, and it's going to be a successful red buff steal for Lee Sin. Lee Sin looking to continue the engagement. Zed and Orianna will not be able to. Zed will not be able to respond. Orianna is on Lee Sin's team. Zed is stuck on his turret. Orianna looking for pressure there. Going to to be a great play as we start this game for Vicarious. First blood still not being spilt, but a great counter jungle by the Lee Sin. Bit of poke coming out from Zed onto Orianna, looking to even out that matchup in the mid lane. Zed looking to come in once again onto the Orianna, takes one auto attack, 2 auto attacks, and he gets only 1 auto attack on her to exchange. Comes in full ham though. Orianna ended by 200 HP, exhaust, has to ignite, goes on to Orianna, looking for one more poke from the Zed, but she is ticking down. Instead, there's going to be first blood for Zed as he flashes back into that. Thought Orianna had him, but he will go down. Orianna into all chat instantly says, "What?" I agree, Orianna. What did we just see there? Going to be actually into the bottom lane as Lee Sin comes in for a gank, gets the flash out from the Janna, but it's not going to be enough to keep her alive. However, the heal from Lucian might. No, she does go down. Death sends the connect on to Lucian. Lucian could be able, his flash comes out as well. Lee Sin goes full ham here, but it's not quite enough as both him and Thresh exchange a turret hit.
Bit of saltiness.
Solo in the bottom lane.
Bit of saltiness coming from the Orianna.
I don't know, that was a very, very close play there. The flash from the Zed likely saved his life, and he got one last auto attack on her. That was just too much for her to stay alive there. It could have gone either way. I thought they were both going down in that exchange. It was ridiculous to see one go down and not the other. I think he had like 20 HP remaining as he got into that.
I'm kind of feeling what the Orianna is feeling right now. If that were to happen to me, I probably would have just gave up on the game, because I saw that's one of the things that Riot needs to look into or something. I don't know.
No, he had his health pot ticking away. He got Ignite onto her. Like, he had her, but she turned it around into her favor. It looked like she had it, and his flash just messed up her timing. I think she was the ball, and he actually avoided it with a well-timed flash. Got one more auto attack. It was just a great outplay by the Zed. Looking at the current score here, we have less than a 100 gold difference between these two teams. The kills have gone over, one onto Corki, one onto Zed. Corki picking up that successful kill onto Janna in the bottom with the assistance from Lee Sin, I believe. Indeed, those 2 assists, the one for Lee Sin, one for Thresh, are the majority of that gold advantage for the blue team currently. Of action into the bottom, and as Thresh goes down to just below half HP. Some action into the billions. Orianna takes more pressure from the Zed. Thresh doing fairly well despite Corki being down 10 farm under Lucian. Lucian doing extremely well, managed to get all those last hits under his stairs. Action into the top lane. Here's Maokai continuing engagement onto the J4. I apologize, J4 continues engagement onto Maokai. But Maokai looks to come back, and the ultimate comes out from the J4. Flash comes through from the Maokai. J4 down to 50 HP here as well. He will go down to the minion damage. A huge play there from Maokai, flashing out of the J4, all allowing J4 to take the turrets and minions to do the work. Very lucky to have survived that play. We're seeing...
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
As I was going to say, that was quite unfortunate for the J4 to bust his nose right into his own ultimate with the flash.
Yeah, we've seen both kills for UMBC be extremely lucky for them. The flash and Maokai getting out with just about 50 HP remaining. The flash from Zed saving his life against the Orianna. Both of them picking up kills. Seeing them sit 2-1 currently, up about 200 gold. Vicarious does have a slight advantage here as far as farm numbers are concerned, aside from in the bottom lane where Lucian has a 10 CS advantage. We'll see how things progress as we get to the mid game. We are now 8 minutes into this game. So far, not too much action, though 2 very close exchanges resulting in kills for UMBC, as well as one great gank from Lee Sin, resulting in a kill for Vicarious. And it comes out from the, there's going to be another gank into the bottom lane from Lee Sin. Q comes out onto the Janna. A nice ultimate from Lee Sin lashing in the back. Could be a counter game coming in from the Mumu as well. Thresh getting fairly low. Corki looking to get more damage back in this, so he was stunned out momentarily, I believe. He comes from Janna not long enough to connect onto Thresh, and Thresh will get this with his life. I apologize. No, he will not, as Zed comes in full ham under that turret for a triple kill. Oh no, it's a double kill. Lucian last hits the Lee Sin, and Zed says BM Mr. Lucian. That's alright though, still 3 kills under that turret, a great rotation from UMBC. Going to get them a huge advantage here. They're now by 2,000 gold and able to sell for the first dragon of the game.
Slay the dragon.
We can see Jan sneaking up on the Orianna to help Maokai potentially get a kill, but I believe in they're just denying every chance of her getting back to her turret. Orianna ults to give Maokai a few more turret shots, and he will not go down due to a good use of Twisted Advance to deny the auto attack.
We are seeing UMBC pull off some amazing plays, getting out of these situations where they look like they're dead, and just one more juke, one more shield, always coming out just enough to maintain their lives throughout almost every situation so far.
Zed seems to get some more poke on the Orianna as Jarvan takes down the outer top tier turret.
Indeed, leaving J4 alone in that top lane was not the greatest choice by UMBC. It did allow him to get that first tier turret, and Thresh goes down in the bottom lane. Lucian picking up another kill for himself. He'll be sitting at 2-0-2. Still about 15 farm up over the Corki. Bit of an interesting choice there. Zed waiting to hop over the wall as Lee Sin ward hops into the bush, expecting Zed's maneuver.
The outplay is just coming from Team
UMBC B team.
UMBCT.
It's UMBC B team. I know the acronyms tonight have been a mouthful.
It quite is. You can see Corki getting out with just enough help from Lucian's ultimate.
Yeah, that was a very well-timed Valkyrie, keeping him alive through that exchange. Lucian, however, might be successful taking down this bottom lane turret. We'll see who comes into range to contest as the Mumu making his way towards the bottom lane, actually. Valkyria started things out fairly strong here, but UMBC has picked up a number of kills to their advantage. We'll see if Valkyria has what it takes to turn things around. They are up 1 turret to 0 currently, down over 3,000 gold, as we have just passed the 11-minute mark in this game. Could have a 3 versus 3 fight breakout in the bottom lane as a Mumu looks to counter jungle a little bit with assistance from the Lucian and the Janna. Q coming out from the Janna, not being taken onto any of the summoners from Vicarious. Maokai from behind the mid lane outer turret, and Orianna will go down to that advancement. Ultimate comes out from the Mumu. We'll see if that's going to be enough. Ultimate from the Janna as well. His flash is available. He goes over the wall and will survive through that situation, at least to this point. He comes up from Lucian, but it's not going to be enough. Lee Sin gets extremely low and does go down to a double shot from the Lucian. Janna looking for some vision control, could get caught out here. A nice death sentence from the Thresh on. Lucian does not decide to follow that up as Corki is not really in range there, though with Valkyrie with so he could have been to finish things off, and then by ultimate from the Jarvan 4. Zed getting fairly low here in the mid lane. Janna looking to keep him alive.
Corki Valkyrie in to get both flashes from Jen and Zed to avoid the splash damage from missile shot.
Picking up both those flashes will be a great play for him, despite them not getting either of those kills.
Thresh laying dense sentence onto Maokai, followed up by... I just forgot the name of his ultimate, and I'm a bit of a Thresh main myself.
The box. I don't actually know the name of the box. I play Thresh and I've never actually read it. Time to click Thresh. Alright guys, Thresh's ultimate it's called the box. That's, wow. Alright.
So, it's so simple you can forget it.
Like, I was calling it by name and I didn't even know it. That's a little bit embarrassing. Go Dark Corps, go. A little bit of a lull here as Purple Side looks for a slight siege onto that mid lane turret. They're forced to fall off without minions to assist them. Looking for some vision control in the mid lane. Lucio will clear out a vision ward from the blue side. Their blue buffs not available as Amumu and Zed make their way through. Actually, Zed may have just picked up that blue buff. Not completely sure how that played out. Looking at the scoreboard here, we're seeing an 8-2 kill lead in favor of UMBC B team over Vicarious on the blue side. Though Vicarious has picked up the first and only turret of the game so far. Roughly a 3,000 gold difference between these two teams in favor of UMBC at this time. Waiting in that bottom lane bush, making sure his team can take this bottom lane outer turret to even out this turret score. Corki making his way out towards the bottom lane, will be forced to recall though. Lucian begins proxy farm in the bottom lane as Zed engages onto Orianna in the mid lane. Janet and Mu looking for some counter gun. Potentially Janet will go for a deep ward, and they have spotted out the Lee Sin at this point. I do believe action in the mid lane. Exhaust has come out onto the Zed. Going to be 3 versus 1. Also comes out from the Jarvan 4, and Zed can't get out. He will get shut down.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
Jan looking to escape that life, and Lee Sin will decide to go for Vision Ward clearing. Dragon is available on the map. They will declare a second Vision Ward if they want to take that uncontested though. J4 and Orianna in the mid lane contesting against Amumu as they try to pick up this mid lane outer turret. Amumu goes down to the advancement from Orianna. I believe that was her ultimate, assisted from the Jarvan 4. And that mid lane outer turret will be going down. Now 2 turrets to 1 in favor of a Vicarious. Flash comes out from the Jarvan 4 as well. Ultimate comes out from the Lucian as well. Lucian will continue the engagement onto the Orianna. It's going to be a 5 versus 1 situation here. Lucian will go down. Maybe a shutdown for the Corki. Again, guys, this is a not-so-stock gaming semi-pro bracket tournament. This is the finals matchup between Vicarious on the blue side and UMBC blue team on the purple side. Vicarious now looking for their first dragon of the game here. I believe this would be a 1-2-1 dragon score if they're successful taking this down. Alright, Jarvan 4 getting a little bit of farm in the top lane. I apologize for my silence there, guys. Had a bit of a cord tanglage that needed rectifying. Maokai looking to engage onto Jarvan 4. Will drop a ward onto the blue side of the jungle. He begins to recall from the top lane bush as Janet goes in a little bit deeper against the Jarvan 4.
You can see Zed sieging onto the outer tier mid turret along with Janna and Amumu sitting in the bush to see if anything will happen. Amumu will miss the binding and a flash will be forced from Orianna in order to escape with her life.
A strong defense from Vicarious in the middle. They do have all 5 of their team members currently available for them. Once they convert this 4v5 into some kills, they are down to 3 kills currently, even in turrets. They are down about 2,000 gold, I believe, even in dragons as well at this time. If they can get a good pick here, they could quickly even things out. Again, guys, Vicarious on the blue side and UMBC B team on the purple side. UMBC looking for a siege onto this mid lane outer turret. There will be a teleport coming in from Vicarious, therefore will be available into this fight. Going to be a 5 versus 5 situation here.
Man, I'm feeling tired all the We can see J4 going on to Zed as Zed will just barely get hit. I'm fumbling my words.
That's right, we're
Zed
seeing another
barely
situation there
barely
where
lives
Zed
from
gets
the
there with his
engagement.
life. Has come through here. We're going to see a huge play for Vicarious, but J4 finally goes down, making that a 2-for-1 trade. Maokai looking to pick up another kill onto Oriana here potentially, but he will get zoned out. Flashes over the wall. Zed looking to come back in this fight after recalling himself back up to full HP. We saw him get out of that fight with about 50 HP remaining once again. The jukes from UMBC B team, as they get low, become more and more impressive, but Maokai does not have those jukes currently, as Oriana and Lee Sin converge for that kill.
That team fight was rather hectic, don't you think? I could not understand what was going on. All I saw was J4 ultimate and Maokai's ult going on, and then the rest was just chaos. And at the end, after the dust settled, we could see, what, 3-4 members of Team Vicarious low enough for somebody to clean them up, and just Maokai and Janna barely escaping.
Indeed, with a good engagement, sometimes it is very difficult to follow those team fights. Still a great fight for both teams. I believe that did go in favor of Vicarious, now sitting down only 1 kill under UMBC, where I believe they were previously 3 kills below them. Seeing them down only 700 gold as well, looking to make a comeback into this game.
Zed going on to the Corki, and he will go splat.
Things coming up from the purple side. Maokai going to go hard onto the Jarvan 4 and the Oriana, looking to make this stick. J4 has been caught out, but he picks up a kill onto the Janna. Going to be a 2-for-1 exchange, though, however, in favor of UMBC B team. Maokai continuing the engagement as he goes full ham under that blue side outer turret. Maokai has about 50 HP remaining once and has utilized a health bot. The rest of his team will continue the engagement. Zed, however, does go down this time. That's going to be the second death we see happen onto the Zed. Zed sitting at 4-2-3, not doing as well as he could be, though out farming Oriana currently by about 11 CS. The action will continue. Lucian gets a shutdown onto Oriana, but gets shut down himself as Lee Sin picks up a kill. Now 11-13, UMBC has picked up 1 kill advantage once again. Sorry, added 1 more kill advantage to themselves, meaning they have now 2 kills over Team Vicarious. It will be a 13-11 kill score at this time. Jan looking to effect vision control around the Baron pit, gets 3 auto attacks onto that visual, make that a 5th auto attack, and it will go down. Super comes out and she will not spot out any additional wards, makes her way back onto her side of the map. Careful things again from the first side. Decimus will connect onto the Zed there. No one available to follow that up is unfortunate, as a nice play comes out from the blue side Thresh.
Janna trying to try to keep vision control for their team, but cannot, as Dragon will show up, as along with Thresh.
This would be a great time for Vicarious to take Dragon down. I mean, they would likely be contested. They have all 5 of their team available for it. Purple side does not look like they're able to come in immediately for contesting. Apologies, I have set up a little bit better than I thought they were. It would not be the greatest choice to set up for Baron at this point. Looking to make a pick from one side or the other. And that's a beautiful Decimus onto the Lucian, but Boomer comes in with his ultimate advantage toss. See Thresh and Amumu both go down. J4 goes down as well. A nice kill placed on, which makes that a 2-for-2 trade between these two teams. However, Lucian will go down to the Lee Sin, making now a 3-for-2 trade. Vicarious should be able to set up for a Baron play here. I apologize, not a Baron play, but a Dragon play. On the wrong side of the map, the wrong contested objective there. Nicely timed ultimate from the Janna might not be quite enough as Valkyrie comes out from the Corki to continue that pursuit, but the Maokai and Janna will affect their escapes. Vicarious will set up for the Dragonblade here. Lee Sin and Corki down to about half HP. Orianna not all that healthy herself, but there are no members from UMBC B team left in range to contest. It will be a successful Dragon for Vicarious. Again, guys, Vicarious on the blue side, UMBC B team on the purple side. We're seeing Vicarious for the first time in this matchup now with a 300 gold lead over UMBC B team.
Maokai and Lucian picking up some farm as Thresh and Jarvan will grant ward coverage for their team. And currently, both teams just wandering around, Janna spying out Thresh's vision ward.
As we approach the 25-minute mark here, both supports looking to effect vision control around the Baron pit. It's never really too early to effect control around the Baron pit. I've seen Barons taken down as early as 19 minutes in our semi-pro tournaments. Though, with how close this game has been, I suspect neither team will be looking to set up for Baron within the next 5 to 10 minutes of play. Of course, that is assuming that things maintain their evenness. If someone can manage a nice pick up 2 or 3 kills for themselves without losing too many members as well, they could potentially set up for a Baron at this time.
I feel like I'm missing something. Nope, found it. Sorry about that.
UMBC looking to relieve some pressure from the mid lane, and Mu looking to increase his gold score as he engages onto his Wraith camp there. A little bit of hype for the blue team in Twitch chat as well. They are indeed making quite the comeback here, despite still being down by 1 kill. They're up once again by a turret and now have a gold lead. Seeing them about 500 gold over UMBC. They're doing fairly well coming back into this matchup, but they've never been completely out of it, despite a fairly rough start. Right, here's looking for some action into the mid lane here. We could have a 4-man siege onto that mid lane inner turret.
Jarvan engaging onto the Maokai as Maokai will twist advance to get away. Pings coming from blue side saying that somebody is missing, so Jarvan will back off of that as Thresh and Corki deny vision of team UMBCM. See? Close enough.
Pretty much. A nice ball coming out there from the Uri. It's a little bit of poke onto Zed in the mid lane there, looking to continue this siege. There are 3 defenders though from UMBC B team. We'll see how they can defend this. A nice Q coming out from the Janna, not able to connect though. Now 4 members of Vicarious and a minion wave has arrived. Getting almost instantly cleared by the Zed Lucian combo there. Nice death has come through from the Thresh as well. Still not quite enough. We've been seeing the Thresh land death sentences almost all game and making huge plays for his team, but nobody's been able to follow those cues up.
He did force the flash from Lucian though, and the Orianna misses the ult as Lucian dashes out of it.
Thresh collecting a couple of souls there with his lantern, and great use of your lantern when you're ahead. Of course, not a bad use of your lantern when you're behind either, assuming that you don't need to use it to help your carries escape. Janna affecting a little bit of vision control there, using his sweeper fairly effectively. Here's a sight ward from Vicarious. Again, guys, Vicarious on the blue side, and UMBC B team on the purple side. Seeing Orianna here with a blue buff. The blue buff expires as I say that.
Zed escaping from Gage from Jarvan. And Lee Sin will get the Wraith. Bit of a push and shove happening in the mid lane between Team Vicarious and Team UMBCM. Thresh spotting out a Vision Ward. And a Trinket Ward.
Things coming up from the pro side around where the 4 members of Vicarious are standing in that mid lane. Of course, Vicarious did just clear out a purple side minion wave, so they are aware of their positioning. Maokai looking for pressure into the top lane, going to be responded onto by the Thresh Jarvan 4 pair, though there has been a ping out onto the Baron pit. We could see a team setting up for Baron fairly soon. Of course, I did say with the game being as close as it is, I wouldn't expect it to be happening in the next 5 minutes still. Said 5 to 10 minutes at the 24-minute mark, so we've seen 5 minutes go by without that Baron play occurring yet in the next 5 minutes, so they should be starting to think about picking up their first Baron, or how they're going to pick up their first Baron. Of course, that goes for both teams currently playing. Q from Janna not quite able to connect as Orianna looks for some jukes there.
And Team Vicarious is just doing everything in their power to keep the mid turret from falling. It's like, what, 2 hits away from Zed or Lucian? And we can see Jarvan trying to scare Maokai away.
Indeed, if UMBC B team can take down that last outer turret, they would more or less even out the game, actually pick themselves up a decent sized advantage the way things have been going so far. That turret on the map is doing a lot for Vicarious' gold score so far. Also, not giving up any more kills than they have has been doing a great job for their gold scores as well. Seeing things still 15 to 14, but action will break out here.
And Lee Sin does not get the lantern. That is sad for him.
And Lee Sin ends up in more or less a 5 versus 1 situation. He does go down, which will allow Team UMBC to set up for a dragon play here. Vicarious respond to that by taking down their mid lane inner turret. They don't have quite enough time or damage to succeed at taking that turret, making an exchange for the dragon.
Maokai advancing on the Corki as Janna will go down to Jarvan PQ combo, and Lucian's calling will deny them from continuing the fight. Zed going in, picking up the kill on Thresh, as all members of Team Vicarious will just scatter.
Adamumo completely changed that team fight, locking down 4, if not all 5 members of Team Vicarious. I think it was only 4 because Lee Sin has effected a recall there. Seeing as that also chased down Corby in the top lane, we could see a 4th kill going down here. Indeed, Corby as well as the Zed both go down, and J4 picks up a kill for his team, though not how I expected that pursuit to
Blue
end.
team's turret has been destroyed.
And Lucian finally finished off the mid lane outer turret for his team, evening out the turret score. They've also picked up another kill advantage for their team, setting up now 2 kills instead of the one they previously were. Things were 15 to 14. We're seeing them now 19 to 17. Roughly a 2,000 gold lead here for Team UMBC. That dragon, as well as the 1 additional kill onto the enemy team, has given them a 2,000 gold lead, where they were roughly down 500 gold before that fight broke out. Again, we've seen a really close game so far in this matchup. 32 minutes into this game, we've seen neither team able to set up for a Baron play yet. Jan looking for some vision control there, and the Q from Lee Sin not going to connect with her.
Orianna picking up blue buff for herself, and as we can see, the teams on both sides just wandering around picking up some farm for items and such.
Sweeper comes out from the Thresh there, and he almost chooses to attack the Vision Ward despite Sweeper being active to spot out the side ward from the purple side. Looking like we're going to have a huge contest here around the Baron pit, mainly in regards to vision control at this time though. 32 minutes into this game, we are almost 10 minutes from the point where I said Baron wouldn't be taken in the next 10 minutes. So we're going to be seeing teams look for a Baron play as we approach that 35-40 minute mark here. Of course, for them to set up for a Baron, they need at least 1 pick, or it's going to result in a huge throw for one team or the other. affecting a little bit more vision control behind the Baron Pit. They do not have strong control in front of it, though they do have 2 Sight Wards placed directly inside of the Baron Pit at this time. Purples are looking to siege into the mid lane. Janna falls off of that after taking a ball from the Orianna. Orianna is capable of dishing out huge amounts of damage at this point in the game, seeing her with 3 items completed so far.
Janna getting some more vision on Team Vicarious' blue side jungle. And we can see Maokai stopping the minion wave bot. Orianna taking out the ward placed by Janna. And they will go back to a push shove situation in mid. And meanwhile, Dragon will spawn in a minute 50 as Janna will be denying vision from Team Vicarious, and so will Orianna from
UMBC B team. My apologies. Again, guys, it is UMBC B team on the purple side. I know those acronyms tonight are a little bit crazy. And Vicarious on the blue side. Seeing Vicarious potentially set up for a Baron play here. There are 3, if not 4 members of Team UMBC B team in range to contest it. They will be content to effect vision control and fall off of that engagement. Also taking a look at those gold scores, we're seeing Team UMBC B team up about 3,000 gold over Vicarious, and looking at the individual scores, Lucian is up about 2,000 gold over the Corki, meaning he has roughly 66% of his team's gold advantage by himself. Lucian doing extremely well for his team so far in this game. Both sides looking to maintain contest around the mid lane. Jan looking to effect a little bit more vision control around the Baron Pit here. Once again takes out a sight ward from the blue team. Once again Vicarious on the blue side, UMBC B team on the purple side. Seeing an even turret score so far. 3 turrets, 2-3, all outer turrets having been removed from the map for both teams. Currently a 19-17 kill score in favor of UMBC B team. They have roughly 3,000 gold to their advantage with a 57,000 to 54,000 gold score. Dragon being pinged out by the purple side here. J4 looking to engage onto Maokai in the top lane as well. The 4 members of the blue side, that is Vicarious, setting up for a dragon play here. A nice lantern from the Thresh gets Orianna into range extremely quickly. Amumu looking to contest the dragon. They will be 4 members of both teams into the river. Nearly 40 minutes into this game, neither team has taken more than 20 kills. Neither team has taken more than 3 turrets. Neither team has gained more than a 4,000 gold advantage throughout the entire game, and the gold advantage has flip-flopped back and forth, despite the kill score being in favor of UMBC.
Amumu getting the flank. But Amumu getting the flank skew onto somebody, and we'll get the 3-man ultimate. And currently as chaos ensues, Zed and Orianna will go down. Maokai trying to do his best to keep people sticking on Thresh will shield Corki, and Amumu will go down. Lucian will follow up and get the kill on Corki, and as Team Vicarious is on full retreat, Lucian gets the double kill, and as Jarvan will presumably get away, picking up some more minions before he will possibly go down, and no! That will be a dragon for Team UMCBM.
That's going to be a smart choice from UMBC, opting to take Dragon as opposed to chasing down the Jarvan 4. Last time J4 got chased down by 2 members of UMBC. Despite him being with about 300 HP, he picked up a kill onto them and didn't go down. So opting for a Dragon where they are guaranteed some gold as opposed to a contest if they go after the Jarvan 4 is a smart choice for them. Seeing them sitting up about 6,000 gold at this time after that Dragon play. This is the most gold lead we have seen for either team so far in the matchup. UMBC looking to begin affecting their victory conditions here potentially. Does Vicarious have the answer though?
Well, personally, if you ask me, I'd say it's rather much of a stalemate currently, except through gold and IM advantages. Both teams are pretty much playing extremely well.
Yeah, we've seen a great game so far. They've been fairly close. We're seeing UMBC pick up a slight advantage here. They've had a kill advantage throughout the entire game. But Vicarious picked up the first turret and had a slight turret advantage throughout the majority of the game, though they are currently even as far as turret score is concerned. I believe Dragons are now 1 or 2 in favor of UMBC as well. Taking a look at the wards placed onto the map, not a lot of visual control coming out from either team. Should one team decide to begin affecting visual control better than their opponents, that could likely lead to a change in the pace of this game. Maokai engages 1 versus 4 and is not even punished for it as he quickly makes his way to safety there. UMBC set up for an ambush. J4 will get locked down, fairly effective. His ultimate will come out onto 4 members of UMBC. The Cataclysm Storyteller coming out from Orion as well. Down the corner, we're going to see Corki being the first one to go down. Zed is extremely low here, but looking to get himself to safety. Mumu will go down a 2-for-1 trade as the Lee Sin also goes down to Lucian. A nice ball comes out from the Orianna onto Janna, but the 4 members that remain from UMBC B team are looking to advance down the mid lane from Vicarious, pick up another turret for themselves here, secure a turret advantage as well as securing an additional gold advantage for their team. Indeed, that will be a successful trade here for UMBC B team. They're now 4 turrets to 3, 24 kills to 20. Looking for their first inhibitor turret here as well. And that's going to be a successful inhibitor turret. Do not believe they have the juice left to finish off the inhibitor as well right now, but Zed goes full hand, picks up a kill. He's also going to be down to about 50 HP. And Lance from J4 actually finishes him off that time, but J4 will get shut down. This will be the inhibitor going down in favor of UMBC B team. The action will continue. Lucian could be in trouble here. Nice view from the Lee Sin, going to continue going full ham. Also coming out from the Cork, but Lucian will escape that with about 300 HP remaining. Lee Sin looking to engage back onto the Janna. Janna down to about 100. She one more auto attack. She will go down to the Lee Sin.
Lucian taking that to the face. I'm sorry for that.
That's right. It's a nice kill for Lucian on the threat. The action will continue here. Corki could get out of that, will not get out of that alive. Both ADCs going down in the exchange. Maokai and Lee Sin going to continue duking it out here. Lee Sin begins to make his way to safety, thinking he cannot win that fight. Lee Sin actually still in the lane, looking to defend against these super minions. He has about 300 HP. There are no members of the purple team there to take him down, though. Will fall off of that. He's taking huge amounts of minion pressure.
Dragon spawning in a minute 40.
And at the 42.5-minute mark here, we have seen neither team successfully pick up Baron yet. We've seen a couple of plays break out around that Baron pit, but the buff has not been taken by either team so far. Of course, as I say that, Maokai and Janna go for complete vision control around the pit. They could be setting up for a Baron fairly soon. Of course, if they do it with all 5 members of Vicarious alive, it could lead to a bit of a misplay for them.
Team Bikers may seem to be setting up for Baron as they are granting themselves vision, and it may be a team fight. laying the bandage shots on the crush as Jarvan will get singled out once again. And Zed will go down, but he will not take Orianna with him as a well-timed zone is in. Chaos Ensues Azumu was tanking up all the damage from the rest of Team Vicarious, and Lee Sin will escape to maybe defend the inevitable push.
I'm not sure if I want to say that. Jarvan 4 did what he was supposed to there, locking down a couple members of UMBC B team, or if him getting overextended there is what cost them that fight. We saw UMBC advance onto the backline from Vicarious and continued that. It went 1-for-1 as Jarvan 4 went down, with Zed also going down, but Zed did more damage than the Jarvan 4, and that does result in a win for UMBC B team, as I'm going over how that fight could have gone a little bit differently, but it is already concluded. There is no difference that can be made after that fight. It goes in favor of UMBC B team on the purple side, emerging victorious tonight through Not So Stock Gaming's semi-pro tournament. Our second place team is Vicarious. A great performance by both of those teams coming into the finals matchup this evening. Going to take a quick look at our match reports. It does look like the bronze match is still underway, so no report on who the third and fourth place teams currently are. We will get that affected onto the bracket as we get those reports, but with that we will be we'll be concluding tonight's tournament stream. We'd like to thank you guys all for coming out to view tonight's Not So Stock Gaming tournament, as well as to participate in Not So Stock Gaming tournament. If you have been a participant, a huge congratulations to our 4 victorious teams this evening, as soon as those last 2 are finalized. And a huge thank you to all of our viewers tonight as well. This is Dark Corpse signing off.